and recruit.
Derry City have hit form at the right time into the semi-finals of the SETANTA and FAI Cups as they bid to add to their recently retained League Cup. Here goes McHugh! To Sammy Morrow! Derry up the goal! The goals just keep on coming! 4 in a row for Derry City. It's a big ask for Linfield here at the Brandywell, but 3 points will ensure their semi-final spot. And in the 5 previous meetings of the clubs in this competition, they've recorded the only 2 wins. Mark Dixon! Dixon is getting in there.
But here at the Oval, hoping for a Linfield slip-up, it's Glentoran against St Patrick's Athletic. Should Linfield fail to win at the Brandywell, then a win for either of these 2 teams here tonight would see them through to the semi-finals.
It's a wonderful header. When the draw was made, we knew this would be tight, and Group 2 will go right to the final whistle.
Our live action this evening comes from the Brandywell. It's Derry City versus Linfield. Tonight's about who gets through and who gets that crucial home advantage. It's all to play for, Felix.
Yeah, Pat, you need a calculator tonight. I mean, there's so many permutations tonight.
Well, I don't need a calculator, I can work it out.
I doubt that somehow. That'll be first for you, anyway.
All the teams have to do is win. That's all. They can't do any more.
As simple as
there
that.
It is.
I mean, obviously, if Linfield, win, they could end up topping the group if they win by 2 clear goals. I mean, it's hard. I mean, the group of death. I mean, Pats and Glentoran both have 5 points from 5 games, and yet if they win tonight, they're through, which is incredible. I mean, it has been an incredibly tight group, and there's so many different permutations tonight. If somebody draws, I mean, personally, I think that if somebody wins at the Oval, they could go through. I mean, Derry have yet to beat Linfield, Pat, and I think that the way things are going, I mean, I think it's a good time to get them at this minute in time for Derry to get their first victory.
Well, listen, you would say that about the Blues anyway. I mean, Derry have never beaten them. They're doing really well domestically again. He's building a new team, a lot of new faces for Linfield this season. And, in this competition, I don't think you can ever write Linfield off. I mean, they've been so competitive. I mean, they've won the competition, they've got to a final, got to a semi-final. When it's counted in this competition, in the group stages, Linfield have always delivered.
Well, I think that the 45 minutes that they played at the Brandywell, I think it might have been 2 seasons ago, when they come back from 2-0 down and ended up winning 2, or drawing 2 each, and could have got a winner to end up with as good a 45 minutes as I've seen as anybody, and it took everything that there is at Linfield to get that result. But he's going to need his team to play like that tonight, and a lot of those guys are a couple of years older now, Pat. It's a very, very old Linfield team.
It's a really special night when Linfield visit Derry. I mean, the fans love it, and there's no love lost either between the managers. I think particularly we saw in the last game that at half-time, after the game, there was perhaps words exchanged. There's so much at stake, but there is rivalry between these 2 clubs.
Well, it goes back a long time, Pat. I mean, that was the big game. Derry-Linfield was the game, and when Linfield were in town, you knew. Losing 3-1 against Windsor, and there was a bit of argy-bargy on the pitch, which I thought was long overdue, And the sort of niceties that both clubs have been at over the last couple of years has gone by the by. There was a bit of a row between Stephen and David at half time.
And you weren't even involved.
And I wasn't even involved. But I would think that it was a good job there was a break, Pat. because there was a lot of bad feeling after that match. And it's good that there's been the break since that particular game at Windsor. There's a lot of bad feeling about, and particularly Derry fans wouldn't have wanted to have lost 3-1 at Windsor Park. Certainly the manager wouldn't.
Well, I'm sure it'll be all lovey-dovey this evening. Let's get up there now to the Brandywell and join our commentary team for tonight for all the team news of Brian Hamilton. But first, Des Khan.
Good evening, gentlemen. Hello, everyone from the Brandywell. And yes, what a massive night in Prospect. Derry City finally getting the monkey off their back by qualifying for the knockout stages for the first time of the SETANTA Sports Cup. Tonight they seek to secure a home semi-final and finally beat Linfield. As for Linfield, they come here knowing that a draw will only be good enough if there is a draw at the Oval between St Pat's and Glentoran. I've no idea which way it's going to go, Brian, but you're the expert. That's why you're here. You tell us.
Well, I think tonight it's going to be a big match at the Oval. I do think there will be a result. I think somebody will win the game, so that means Derry, I think, will play well tonight, and I think Linfield will have to win.
Well, both sides minus some key personnel. Stephen Kenny has had to plan for this one without the former Linfield man Thomas Stewart, who's ineligible. Also the suspended pair Kevin McHugh and Eddie McCallion. So starts tonight for Mark Farron and Billy Dennehy, and Gareth McGlynn goes to right back. As for David Jeffrey, he's short 3 right backs with Jim Irvin, Stephen Douglas and Billy Joe Burns all out. Perhaps the biggest miss though could be Jamie Mulgrew in midfield, and a real sign, Brian, of the changes at Linfield since they last played Derry in March in the game at Windsor Park. Only from the side that starts tonight, Alan Manus and Michael Galt start this evening.
Well, spoken with both managers, and Stephen Kenny was saying in the first game when he played, he brought in about 7 or 8 players. Very difficult for them to settle. They've done remarkably well. For David Jeffrey, it's been an awful season so far for him that way. He lost players in the summer. He's had an unbelievable run of injuries, and he has done remarkably well to do what he has done. He has got to play well tonight if Linfield are going to win this game.
Well, let's get the views of both the Linfield and Derry camps ahead of this one with Will Downing.
Cheers, Des. Sammy, what's the motivation to win tonight, because you're already through?
Yeah, well, we want to top the group and make sure we get a home tie in the semi-final, so it's an important game for us as well.
Linfield are a side you've had some fantastic battles in this competition with in the 3 seasons the two of you have come up against each other.
Yeah, well, I haven't seen them, I haven't been here, but I'm looking forward to it tonight, and hopefully it'll be another good game.
But obviously, colleagues would have told you the reputation that these games seem to have and how tight they always seem to be.
Yeah, there always seems to be a good atmosphere in that, and close games and well-battled games, so it's good to make it another good game tonight.
You're all on form at the moment. Doesn't matter what competition you're playing in, you're sweeping the boards at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. Well, hopefully it'll continue in the same manner. We're winning games at the minute. We're getting ourselves in the next rounds of every competition, so fingers crossed we can do the same tonight.
By the way, hat-trick for you in the League Cup final. How did you celebrate after?
Tea and biscuits.
Proper order. Damien, this is a huge game from a Linfield point of view. Essentially, you have to win here.
Yeah, I think we're going to go out and face a game very positive. 3 points, that's what we're looking for, so we can try to top the table and get into the semi-finals of the group or the competition.
That 4-1 loss at the hands of Glentoran, that's unusual from a Linfield point of view in recent seasons to lose that heavily.
It's a big knockback for us. Strange night, strange occasion. I think the first half, Glentoran will agree with ourselves that it was anybody's game. 2-1 at half time, we were doing okay, and then the 2 goals in the second half just killed us. So we're looking for 3 points tonight.
A draw might just in certain circumstances get you through, but that's not what you're thinking of really tonight, is it?
Definitely not. We can't rely on St Pat's or Glentoran. We can't look away from the Brandywell, tonight. We're looking for 3 points, so we're going out in a positive frame of mind.
Best of luck tonight, gentlemen. Des, all yours.
Well, both sides then are going to go for it. I wonder which ones will be enjoying the tea and biscuits come full time. One of the best games we've seen in the competition's history, Brian, was the 2-2 here a year ago. Given what's at stake, though, will it be a similarly open affair, do you think, or more a cagey one?
I think tonight Derry are going to be through. For sure they're going to get into the final stages. Linfield believe they can get there. I think both camps respect each other. It will be an open game because I feel Linfield must win tonight. But I do think that they will be careful because they know that both teams can score goals. It's going to be an interesting game, and I think Derry just might sneak it tonight.
Yeah, so much to play for, both at the Oval and here at the Brandywell. Derry City, the only side in Group 2 assured of a semi-final berth. As for Linfield, they've never failed to get out of a group. The inaugural winners in 2005. A big ask for them tonight, but they have produced against the odds before.
I don't want you talking about those chocolate biscuits that Sam Morrow had down in Wexford, okay? Because he got onto them before I did.
Well, that's obvious.
Listen, What do you make
It's
of
a
this
bit quicker
Derry?
than you.
What do you make of this Derry team?
Well, it's been a settled side that Stephen's had over basically the last 4 or 5 matches. You know, he seems to have settled on McGinn, Derry, Malloy and Gareth McGlynn, but obviously Eddie McKillen can't play tonight. It's the sort of the talk in Derry this morning amongst the press was who was going to play in midfield along with Barry Malloy, because we all thought Kevin Derry was going to go and play right back. Stephen always likes him in the team.
He's decent at midfield as well, though, isn't he? I like him. He's long-range shooting as well. So
yeah, I mean, like the
there.
goal he scored at Wexford, I mean, he's got great technique. Sometimes I don't think he does enough in the final third, but he's got all the ability in the world. But plenty of energy in that team, Pat. I mean, a wonderful energy in McGlynn and McGinn, Morrow and Farron, who I think is going to prove a handful tonight. I mean, when you look at the Linfield team, Pat, the 2 centre defenders, I mean, Murphy's 34, Bailey's 37, and Glenn Ferguson's 39, Pat.
Okay, I mean, listen, they clearly are past their best athletically, but they've got so much experience, and what I'm looking forward to seeing is Paul Munster. He's an interesting guy, won a golden boot, haven't seen a lot of him out in Canada, played for Slavia Prague for a while, so I think David Jeffrey is rebuilding. He knows he's got to lower the age in some of the key positions.
That's why I was saying to you it's a good time for Derry to get them.
Yeah, well, I'm not so sure, because, you know, I think that Noel Bailey won't be found wanting tonight. He's an experienced player and a great campaigner when it comes down to it.
Well, it's time for a break. When we come back, we're going to concentrate on the other game in the Oval. Alan McDonald, the Glens boss. I'm also going to hear from the Pats boss. That's Johnny McDonald next.
World Cup qualifiers on SETANTA Sports this October. Saturday the 11th, Northern Ireland need the points as they travel to Slovenia. Then the following Wednesday, can England keep that Fabio feeling?
And what a night it's turning into for Fabio Capello in England!
As the Three Lions take on Belarus. World Cup qualifiers this October, live only on SETANTA Sports.
Just sensational!
Starts Saturday the 11th.
Brandywell is Derry Pats in the semi-final. There's another big game which is happening in East Belfast. It's Glentoran against St. Pat's. We're going to hear from Johnny McDonald, the Pats manager, shortly. But first, Conor Morris talks to the Glens boss, Alan McDonald.
Alan McDonald, 3 sides all looking for one spot in the semi-finals. It should make for a great climax to the group. What's it like as a manager?
It's great. I mean, we find ourselves in foreign territory. This is probably the closest we've ever been to qualifying for the second phase, and certainly, as far as I'm concerned, it's a winner-take-all here tonight.
3-3 against Pats down in Inchicore back in the previous meeting between the sides, and probably a little bit unlucky in that one with 2 late goals for Pats. Is that a little bit of extra motivation for your players?
No, certainly. It seems a long time ago now when we were down in Inchicore. No, we were very, very disappointed. There was a couple of incidents that happened that night that we weren't very happy about, I must be honest. And certainly things went against us very badly. But that's gone, you know, that's history, as to say. You know, we do feel a little bit hard grief with the result down there because we played absolutely super that night. But no, it's hopefully if the 2 teams play as well tonight, we're in for a cracking match.
Now, waterlogged pitch on Saturday denied you a crack at Linfield, which would have been a huge game. The players must be champing at the bit to get out there tonight. Yeah, players,
you know, for us, for a part-time club, we've been playing, I think it's 6 or 7 weeks, midweek, you know, and the games are coming thick and fast for us. We just want to play football, you know. It's frustrating for myself and the coaches where probably there's we would like to work on with individual players or group of players, but the players are happy. They just want to play football. They'd rather play than train, and tonight's another big game for them.
Alan, thank you and good luck.
Thanks very much.
Johnny McDonald, it's winner takes all really in Belfast tonight, so it should make for a cracking game of football. Are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, well, it could be a cracking game, or it could be a tight game, it could be cagey. I mean, a late goal will do it, but yeah, the unfortunate thing for both teams is it's totally out of our control. If Linfield gets something tonight, well then it doesn't matter whether someone wins 5-0 or 1-0, so we're just going to go and play the game and just couldn't be concerned about the game tonight.
It's a second big game in quick succession after Hertha Berlin, of course, in Europe last week. Are you happy with the level of performance your players are coming up with at the moment?
Yeah, I think so. It's at this stage now, it's just playing games, recovering and getting us mentally ready for the next game. So we did a difficult game up in Finn Harps the weekend without the showers after the game, I must say. And but we come up again early today, we got a rest, so we prepared really, really well for the game. And it's a good stadium, good people, they always treat you well coming here. And we're looking forward to the match.
Quite a few injury concerns though, how's that bearing up?
Yeah, we've only 16 travelling, so we can only use the 3 anyway, so this should be okay for next week. We don't play now till Cove. Then obviously we have 2 back games, so it depends on tonight's results what way them games will fit in. So it looks like we're going to have 10 games over the next 6 weeks.
And of course, you're relying on things to go your way elsewhere. Will you have SETANTA on somewhere with somebody telling you what's going on at the Brandywell during the 90 minutes?
No, not really. I think we just play. I think, it's a bit of bragging rights as well. I think the group has been good, that it's gone right down to the last game and down to goal difference as well and stuff like that. So I think it's been good for the competition that it's like that.
Johnny, best of luck tonight.
Cheers, thank you. Cheers.
Everyone seems to think it's just going to be a foregone conclusion that Pats go up to Belfast, deal with Glentoran and then wait for the result from the Brandywell. But I thought Pats did really well after going out of Europe, very unlucky, to go up to Finn Park, get the result, cold showers afterwards. The showers were working, just cold water. I don't think it's going to be as easy as perhaps people suspect.
Well, it depends, Pat, which Pats turn up. The Pats that's good is very good. The Pats that's poor is very poor. And when you go out of Europe, I always believe that the club suffers a wee bit.
Yeah, but it didn't up in Finn Park, did they? That's a tough fixture.
Well, it's a tough
Finn Park's been doing well.
And but by all accounts, talking to most people who were there at the weekend, Harp should have got something out of the match and had a stonewall penalty, which they didn't get in the first half. Pats got the difference between the top and the bottom is that 1 or 2 strikers get 1 or 2 chances, but it was a tough game. They come through it without playing well, which hasn't been the case this year. It's been one of the problems, as opposed to Bows and Derry, for example, who are getting results despite not playing well, which is a sign of a good side. And St. Pat's at time, I think their organisation lets them down. But in terms of tonight, they're going to play on a good pitch, but they murdered Linfield for an hour and were hanging on for their lives at the end. And it's going to be a decent match up there tonight, but they'll get all they want with Glentoran, especially the 4-1 victory over Linfield, which turned the whole the table on its head, and they will go in tonight and having been 3-1 up with 5 minutes to go at Inchicore, they'll feel they probably owe Pats one.
Well, fair play to Alan McDonald for taking that job. To come over to Belfast and try and make a go of it. It's his managerial career. But our live game tonight, back to that. Sam Morrow, I was really impressed with him in the League Cup final. I thought on the last SETANTA Sports Cup match as well, he's someone for me that holds the ball up very well with his back to goal and brings their midfield into play. And I think he's a very good player.
Well, I've seen him play the last 4 matches. He was very good against Wexford, obviously scored a hat-trick. He was very good against St. Pat's at Inchicore. But yet in the cup game against Cork last week and in the game against Drogheda 2 weeks previous, he was very, very poor, and I was actually surprised that Stephen Kenny played him following it. But
it's been a bit up and down as well for Mark Farron.
Yeah, it's been up and down for him. Mark he didn't play particularly well against Drogheda either, but he's the guy, he plays on the shoulder and he takes his chances. And tonight I expect him to cause Bailey and Murphy a lot of problems. Murphy's 34, Bailey's 37, and he's a flying machine, as they say. He can catch pigeons, and I think he could do them damage tonight, particularly if the Blues push up.
What about this guy?
Well, I'm a great fan of Spike, as he's affectionately known. He's been about a long time. If you're 39 and still playing, it's a credit to himself. But he can't go on forever, Pat. He's physically not able to play the 90 minutes. I thought he was a pale shadow of his former self against St. Pat's at Windsor, and it's a pity when you see a player of that calibre suffering to that extent. But he's playing tonight, and no matter what age, regardless, Murphy, Ferguson or whatever, they are used to winning. They've got great belief and pride in their football club.
And I think the combination of Bailey and Murphy together, when they play at the central defence, they're getting on. Well, they've got that experience.
Yeah, they have. They have that experience. But we saw what happened when Michael Galt went back there against St. Pat's at Inchicore, and Pat's gave them a serious drubbing. But they aren't, Pat. They're not. Yourself, when you get 34, 37, 2 centre backs, and you've got somebody like Farron who got a great turn of speed. They're in for a tough night.
Well, David Jeffrey, I'm hoping it'll do the job. After the break, it's live. The County Stripes versus the Blues.
At SETANTA Sports, we don't hit you with sky-high pay-per-view prices. autumn's top fights are all part of the service.
You better lose yourself in the music the moment you own it. You better never let it go. You only get one shot, do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. You better
Take your ringside seat for a double main event.
Season 5.
Saturday, live on SETANTA Sports.
At British Gas, we're rewarding kids and schools for being green. The greener they are, the more green prizes they'll get. Join the 4,000 schools already signed up. Visit generationgreen.co.uk.
Kellogg's Crunchy Nut. Ludicrously tasty.
You won't believe how it ends. Saw 5 in cinemas October 24th.
We asked visitors from the UK to New Zealand how they feel about holidaying in the youngest country on earth. Watch.
We're cousins. This is going to go down as a classic family holiday.
Classic holiday. We're going to be annoying our children in 30 years.
Yeah.
We managed to do some shore diving.
Yeah, we got 5.
Yeah.
6.
We're vegetarians.
We're vegetarians.
I just can't believe about the scenery. It's just like going through the whole of Europe in like 30 minutes. I'm walking through these beautiful landscapes and it just puts everything into perspective. I just feel like a weight's been lifted. I just feel free.
So what do you say, UK? Start planning your New Zealand holiday now at newzealand.com.
Tony, how are things? Gary, same old, same old. Must be 3 years since we worked together on the site. Where did you go? Well, while I was working with you, I was doing my electrician's course at the Skills Centre. Doing the course and working at the same time? Yeah, earning and learning. And the Skills Centre helped me find the funding. Sounds easy. It was. Getting my certificates changed my life. Now I'm earning more money than I ever thought I could. Even the missus is happy. You're lucky. Nah, once you've got a trade, there are loads of jobs out there. You should give it a try. I'm no electrician. Maybe not. The Skills Centre offer courses in joinery, gas, plumbing and electrics. Give the Skills Centre a call. It could change your life.
Courses in plumbing, gas, joinery and electrical. Visit the website, call or text for more information on courses and help with funding.
Tony! Nice wheels! Tar, mate. I'm my own boss now.
Get the skills that could change your life. Aspire, learn and succeed with the Skills Centre.
0800 377 779. This is the only number you're going to need to change your career and change your life. So pick up the phone. Do it now and become a driving instructor with Red. You don't need experience, just the drive to do something new and become your own boss. Then you'll have freedom to choose your own working hours and earn up to £30,000 a year. So don't hang around. Call this number now. These guys did, and they never look back.
I was able to fit the instructor training around my previous job. Now I fit my career around my family life. It's totally flexible.
And like all our instructors, once you qualify, you can be part of one of the fastest growing driving schools in the UK. Over 1 million people take driving lessons every year, and you could be teaching them. So give Red a call on 0800 377 779. That's 0800 377 779. If you've got a licence, we've got the keys to your new career.
Our music. Our blogs. Our maps. Now we can all contribute to the web from the palm of our hands. The new Nokia N96. The web now made by hand.
Our live Premier League coverage continues on Saturday the 18th of October. As usual, we will have 2 live games. First up is Liverpool as they take on Wigan from 2:30 on SETANTA, Ireland. And following that, champions Manchester United, they host West Brom at Old Trafford. Kick-off, it's 5:30 on SETANTA Sports 1. On Monday the 20th of October, troubled Newcastle United, they take on Manchester City at St James's Park. Coverage for that one begins at 7. And on Saturday the 25th of October, there's more live Premier League action on SETANTA Sports with West Brom versus Hull City at the Hawthorns. That's from 2:30 on SETANTA, Ireland. Then it's off to Ewood Park as Blackburn Rovers host Middlesbrough. Kick-off for that one is 5:30.
We've talked about the players and obviously the influence they're going to have on the game, but there's quite a battle on the sideline. You've got Stephen Kenny, the young pretender, got an incredible record when it comes to cup finals. And then you've got David Jeffrey, who seems to have a silverware addiction.
Well, I don't think Stephen Kenny is a young pretender, Pat. I mean,
he's only 36.
I know he's only 36, but in my view, of all the people managing in Ireland, I think he's the best. He's the best, and he not be found wanting from a tactical point of view and also from a motivational point of view. He'll have the team fired up. They had a difficult game at Wexford, Pat, and I was very impressed by the way that Derry came out. I mean, it was so easy on that particular night, as you know, to be easy, Ozzy, and they had a tremendous attitude. But yet the managers have roles to play tonight, but it's going to be a place, it's not a place for the faint-hearted tonight. I mean, this is a big, big game. Derry against Linfield, and the Derry lads have yet to beat them, and they need to be on their mettle tonight.
Well, it's always a big night when Linfield visit Derry. Let's join Des and Brian at the Brandywell.
Yes, hello again from a Brandywell that's brimming with anticipation tonight. While Group 1 of the SETANTA Sports Cup might have proven a runaway success for the Aircom League sides, Group 2 has left precious little room for manoeuvre. Leadership of the group has changed hands several times, and now on the final night, only Derry City assured of a semi-final spot. They play to win the group tonight and secure a home semi-final. As for Linfield, St Pat's and Glentoran, it's anyone from those three to join Stephen Kenny's side. Pat's and Glentoran must win. Anything less won't do for them. And if we have a victor at the Oval, then Linfield must win here to continue their record of always coming out of their group. Well, let's take a check on tonight's starting lineups. Firstly, the hosts, and here's manager Stephen Kenny.
Well, Clive Delaney will captain the team alongside Mark McChrystal at the back. We have Artie Malloy and Kevin Derry in the central midfield. Billy Dennehy gets his first start in the SETANTA Cup on the left wing. Niall McGinn playing the right wing, and Mark Farron will start up front with Sammy Morrow.
So without the suspended duo of McCallion and McHugh and the ineligible Stewart, the versatile Gareth McGlynn goes to right back. Niall McGinn, as you heard, switches from the left wing to the right with Billy Dennehy coming into the side. And top scorer Mark Farron is back. He starts alongside Sammy Morrow. Well, what of Linfield? Here's David Jeffrey on his 11 to start tonight.
Well, we're missing 8 players this evening. We have Irvin, Kearney, Douglas, Docherty, Carville, Burns, Mulgrew and Martin, all unavailable for one reason or another. But I'm happy with the players that we have. They're coming here knowing the size of the task. Big Alan Manus will be in goal. Their fullbacks, Conor Hagan, Johnny Harkness right and left, William Murphy, Noel Bailey, 2 stalwarts, Michael Galt, Damien Curran in the middle of the park for me, Aidan O'Kane wide left, Robbie Garrett wide right, Paul Munster, affectionately known as Herman, up front, along with the master himself, Mr. Glenn Ferguson.
So as you heard, 8 senior players out, only 5 substitutes named by David Jeffrey as Linfield chase a result here. Jamie Mulgrew's absence will perhaps be the most keenly felt, but the manager can still call in the experienced campaigners down the middle. Manus, Murphy, Bailey, Galt and Ferguson form a very strong spine. Well, a lot of emotion has surrounded this fixture since Linfield and Derry City renewed an old rivalry back on February 20th, 2006. And as we look at the Derry support, there's a positive for the travelling support. In 5 SETANTA Sports Cup meetings of these two clubs, Linfield have not yet been beaten. 3 draws and 2 Linfield wins at Windsor Park, including back in March. But Stephen Kenny's Derry City in such a fabulous vein of form. League Cup winners for the 4th season in a row. An FAI Cup semi-final to come at Terryland Park. And tonight desperate to finally put one over on Linfield, and in the process possibly eliminate the inaugural winners from the competition. Teams taking to the pitch in a wonderful atmosphere here. A good contingent of travelling support and a very vocal home support who, after 5 games, as we said, without a win over Linfield, will be finally hoping that this is their night. Derry City have been the Cup Kings of late, but the SETANTA Sports Cup has proven a source of frustration for them. First time out of the group, can they go on and win it this time? Let's head down to Will Downing.
Well, both League Cup finalists are in action tonight. Wexford Youth are playing Limerick 37 in the Aircom First Division, but Stephen Kenny, Derry City, continuing to charge in every competition.
Well, it's a good atmosphere here tonight. That's what we want. You know, you want to be playing in front of good crowds, and pitch is looking great tonight, so it's all set for a good match tonight.
You, of course, have your own motivations for winning tonight to get a home semi-final.
Yeah, I think it's we're through regardless, so we're happy with that. But we would like to finish top of the group. That's our intention, and we will endeavour to do so.
Best of luck tonight, Stephen. Two important permutations for Linfield. Basically, they have to win unless there's a draw at the Oval, but if you win by 2 clear goals, David Jeffrey, you win the group.
Well, the message is very clear, very simple, very direct, Will, and that's to tell the boys are going for a victory tonight. Yet again, we seem to have come in from criticism from other people, and the boys are really fired up for tonight. They want to win.
You're down 8 tonight, which means a lot of shuffling.
Yes, we're down 8, but that's part and parcel of it. I never want to make excuses about injuries. The players I have out in the blue jersey will give them their very best. I hope their best is good enough.
Best of luck to you tonight. You know one thing for sure, Des, they will both do their best. Give their best anyway.
Well, David Jeffrey fired up in his interview. I wonder what his team talk was like in the dressing room prior to sending his side out. The referee for this evening's game is Anthony Buttimer of Cork. Big night for him as well. Always a lot of emotion around this fixture. Tonight, when the holders, Drogheda United and Cork City, can sit back and contemplate their semi-final opponents, as all the pressure lies squarely on the shoulders of, in particular, Linfield, Pats and Glentoran, but also Derry City will be anxious to secure that home semi-final. If they can do that, then Cork City will be the visitors here. But as Will said, a 2-goal Linfield win will see Cork return to Windsor Park, scene of that epic semi-final last season, and Derry heading to the backyard of the champions, Drogheda United. So many potential scenarios, and we'll be keeping you up to date on events at the Oval as they transpire. But a great atmosphere here, Brian. How do you see the game going?
Well, you're right, it is a fantastic atmosphere, and I was walking out on the pitch beforehand, and the ground staff have done a wonderful job. It's a beautiful surface, and I think it's going to be really tough. I think for Linfield, we have spoken about them so often in the past, you never can discount them. They're always going to be there or thereabouts. I think they need to play at the top of their game tonight. I think Manus has to play well, Murphy, Bailey and Ferguson up front. If they can play well, get the team with confidence, then they can put on a performance. But this is a strong Derry side. The crowd are behind them. They feel as if they can win the game, and Stephen Kenny, he wants to win the group.
Now Glenn Ferguson with the final rallying call for his side. He's already got 9 goals this season, picking up where he left off. No Peter Thompson alongside him these days, of course, and supporting him tonight will be Paul Munster. Kevin Deary, who scored an absolute wonder goal in the League Cup final, stays in the middle of the park tonight. There was a possibility he might have gone to right back with Eddie McCallion suspended, but Gareth McGlynn, the man for all positions, will start there for Derry. Derry, who are in action. Stephen Kenny made 8 changes for the league game here against Sligo, 1-1 draw on Friday night, bearing in mind what was to come tonight. Linfield were meant to be in action at the Oval against Glentoran, a game that was called off late, so the legs should be fresh. Straight away it's Derry on the front foot. Crossing chance here is a deep one over the head of Farron and straight into the arms of Alan Manus. When Linfield came here last year, they were 2 goals down with 20 minutes to play, showed their character that night as they struck late with goals from Mark Dixon and Aidan O'Kane to salvage a 2-2 draw. 3-1 victors against Derry City back in March as Derry were getting their campaign underway, and Stephen Kenny, whose side is arguably the form side playing some of the best football in the country at the moment, so anxious to finally put one over on David Jeffrey. It was Ferguson leaving an early calling card on Kevin Deary. What will depend on that man as well tonight, Brian?
Well, I think he's a very good referee, and speaking with him before the game, he's very confident, and he's got good officials, and we always speak about them being a team. If they work well as a team, it should be a good game for them also.
As we said, a draw will only be a good enough result tonight for Linfield if we don't have a winner between Glentoran and Pats at the Oval. Here's Farron. Support arriving from McGinn, who digs out a deep cross. Whistle's gone. Ball was out of play.
Yes, I think he's a very good player, this young man. I think he's Pat McCourt, when he left, I think every Derry supporter thought there was going to be a space and it had to be filled, and this young man has filled the boots very well. Lovely balance, nice touch, can take people on, and as we saw against St Pat's, he's got a trick.
And he's been in the goals as well, Niall McGinn, showing his versatility tonight. Switching from left flank to right, layoff from Munster. Here's Damien Curran. Just about kept in play by Hagan. Looks for Ferguson. Trying to find young Robert Garrett on that right hand side.
Well, both teams adopting the 4-4-2 as we expected, and it's going to be so important in these early stages who's going to dominate the ball. Middle of the park's always vital.
And they'll be looking to this man for a very big performance. Michael Gold wins his side a throw in. Interestingly, amongst the only 5 substitutes for Linfield tonight is Paul McAreevy, man who's been known to make a big impression in this competition over the years. He's in reserve if David Jeffrey needs him. That's come off the head of Clive Delaney, and Linfield have an early corner.
Well, Delaney, very tall, very important player for Derry in both boxes because he can come up and score a goal as well. But I think Linfield from set pieces are always very dangerous. Good movement. They've got players who can put in good service, so they need an early goal.
Damien Kern to look to turn provider here. Kern will get there again. Garrett. Challenge backwards from Farron, and referee says that's a foul. Garrett seemed unaware of the arrival of Farron.
Well, that's the work ethic of the Derry City players, and I think a lot of that has got to go down to the manager. He's got everybody working hard, really pulling for the team.
Now Glenn Ferguson, it's a bit of a distance out. There is a slight breeze behind him. He's led it. Johnny Harkness, no trouble there for Derry.
Tour free kick. You know, you spend a lot of time in set pieces, and at the start of a game, if you get a set piece like that, you try and test the goalkeeper, and really you've got to get it past the wall.
And Stephen Kenny has overseen 21 home games in all competitions at the Brandywell this season. Been beaten just 4 times here. As for David Jeffrey's side, 25 Setanta Sports Cup games, beaten just 4 times, and only one of them on the road. We saw that earlier this year at Richmond Park. Here goes McGinn. Take your pick. Was it Harkness or Gold who took him down? They're looking to take this quickly. Referee says bring it back.
I think it was Gold. He's a bit lucky actually. He was very late. The referee was very well placed. I think the referee's been very kind to him on that occasion. He's having a quiet word with him now, and you're right, Linfield need a big performance from him tonight.
Now Kevin Derry wants to wrap that cultured right foot around it. Almost found its way through to Stephen Gray at the back.
Well, it wasn't a great free kick. We spoke about Linfield's just 2 or 3 minutes ago, but on that occasion it was a poor free kick in, but the movement and the Derry City players try to make something from it, and sometimes out of a situation like that, that can work.
Swept away by Harkness. It should run through to Gerard Doherty, though Aidan O'Kane is making up the ground here. It's good, cool goalkeeping. Doherty, one of the Derry players, rested on Friday night as Darren Quigley started against Sligo. Garrett beaten to that by Malloy. It comes off the heel of Hagan, and that was important. Billy Dennehy was almost in. Now McGlynn. He's a nominal right back really, isn't he? You can see even in those situations his attacking instinct coming out.
Well, it's fast and furious again so far. Everybody trying to close down. No real quality on the ball as such.
Well, big news coming through from the Oval. Darrell Fordyce has put Glentoran 1-0 up against St Pat's after 6 minutes. Glentoran, the side who were written off earlier in the group. there'll be a side to go through. And the card is coming out here for Robert Garrett. Left his foot in late. First booking of the evening comes right side, 6.5 minutes. It's certainly interesting news from the Oval. I wonder, will that filter through? Will David Jeffrey have someone giving him updates from that game? Inside with a free kick to defend here. Might look for Clive Delaney, who's the obvious target. Went through a mass of bodies. It was cleared by Glenn Ferguson. Here's Munster. Ferguson again. Picked up by Malloy. Delaney, crunching challenge. Goal has gone in again. Well, that's his second one of the game so far. And this time the referee isn't going to stand for it. And the card is out. 2 Linfield bookings in quick succession. Well, can he have any complaints about that one?
Well, he said he got the ball. I'm not too sure he got too much contact on it, but I think a lot was to do with the previous challenge.
There's Noel Bailey coming out of defence now. He's been side down, and I think Linfield are saying if Michael Gold gets a yellow, and there has to be another one here for Kevin Deary. And there is. Kevin Deary is booked, and that means he will miss Derry City's semi-final. After what had just gone before, it was a rash challenge from Deary.
Well, they've all been reckless. The game needs to settle down. There's a lot at stake, but both teams need to settle down, get on the ball, and simply pass better.
Well, both sides so hyped up for this one. We've seen that in the nature of some of the challenges so far. Swept forward by McChrystal, but out of play. Strong challenge in the air from McChrystal. McGinn, nice touch. Gray. Looks to squeeze one up the line. That was well read though by Hagan. Now Bailey. Harkness. Going right down the middle. Too much on that though for Glenn Ferguson. Looking for Dennehy, good defending from Hagan. And David Jeffrey all fit and available. He wouldn't have been starting there tonight. I'm pretty sure of that, with Jim Irvin and Stephen Douglas, Billy Joe Burns, all unavailable to the Linfield manager tonight. Harkness is going to have his hands full against McGinn. Lovely little show from McGinn, and then a ball up the line that Farron wasn't aware of. Into Curran. Now Bailey. A big clearance from Manus. Won by McGlynn. Bailey's header away, taken in by Galt. On that yellow card, he'll have to be careful with every challenge now. Well, Michael Galt came into this on 3 yellow cards, which I think we'll try and verify as we go on, would rule him out of a potential semi-final as well, were Linfield to get there. That's down the line from McGinn. Oh, beautifully done again.
Well, he is the talented boy, and when you see a player playing with great confidence, a little bit of arrogance, getting on the ball, inviting players into him, especially in that final 30, has got this trick, this bit of magic that can change the course of a game. It's going to be a difficult night for young Harkness.
Defenders might look at him and think physically they might be able to dominate, but his feet are so quick and he's got a real cruising pace. That foul on him has earned this free kick, which is too deep for anyone in a candy striped shirt.
Yeah, Stephen Kennedy will be furious with that, really. David Jeffrey well, he's telling his full back to stay on his feet and not give away silly free kicks. And I think he's right, because if Derry get too many free kicks in that area, they've got tall players who can win the ball in the air. Delaney especially, who's so strong in there, Morrow also. So Linfield, just be cautious.
Well, if you're a little late in joining us, just a reminder, still 0-0 here, 11.5 minutes played, but a breakthrough already. Crawford Ice at the Oval as Glentoran 1-0 up against St. Pat's, and a reminder, if things were to stay that way in terms of a result, if Glentoran or Pats were to win there and Linfield were only to draw here, then the victor at the Oval would be joining Derry in the semi-finals.
It has been an amazing group. We knew it was going to be tough, and as you said quite rightly, we felt that Glentoran were out of it all, after the early stages. But I think coming into tonight's two games, I did feel that they were maybe going to be the surprise package.
It goes to show as well in a group like this what difference one result can make, because it was Glentoran's 4-1 win at Windsor Park which really threw the group open. Then we had Derry City winning at Richmond Park. Linfield at one stage looked well positioned in the group. Pats at one stage looked well positioned. But it's Derry, the only side of the four, who will definitely be playing in the semi-finals.
I think the pleasing thing about this whole group has been some excellent matches. I thought the last game, Derry and St. Pat's, was a super game. First half very much Derry, second half St. Pat's. Really good football.
The signs were good from the outset. Linfield and Derry, Windsor Park and Glentoran in a 3-3 with Pats in Inchicore. Here's Garrett. But Crystal had to be careful. Couldn't afford to leave a trailing leg. Derry can defend it. It breaks to Curran. And now Garrett again. Looks happy every time he gets it to try and take on Stephen Gray out there. Hagan sweeps it infield. Only Derry men there. Forward by Morrow. Layoff from Farron. Morrow again looking for McGinn. Three awaiting a delivery here. Can McGinn provide? Going on the outside. Blocked initially, then just teases one up to the back post, and Man is forced into action. Save from the header of the man coming forward from midfield, who was Evan.
Yeah, fantastic play. Wonderful skill from McGinn. Very calm, very composed. Lifted the ball up, just put in the centre. Good save.
And at the other end, Ferguson puts one in, and it's a wonderful ball, and Curran denied by a fine save, clawed away by Doherty.
Well, we knew it was going to be a decent game, and if both of these teams get the ball down and pass and play as they just have done. Linfield, fantastic movement, great chest control, stretching all the time, terrific save.
And what a bright opening to the game we've had. Both sides have come out to win this. Corner now for Derry to defend. Ferguson climbing and winning.
Great header, Really wasn't favourite. Clive Delaney, big man, but Ferguson timed his jump, really leaned on top of the centre half, didn't allow him time to get off the ground. The header, not so far, just limited direction.
Well, this was the ball in, a wonderful ball in, and Curran did everything in his power. Denied only by a fine save, but Ferguson is already looking sharp. He turned 39 in July. Scored from the penalty spot in the home win against Derry earlier in the group, and he will be a key figure for them tonight. Garrett robbed. That will be a Derry ball. Once again they're looking for the pace of Farron early against Bailey. Thrown in towards Morrow. Doesn't manage to get a foot on it though. Galt overplays it. Now it's with McGlynn. As I look up, comes inside. Malloy puts one into the corner for Farron. Once again Bailey sticking close to him. Oh, McGlynn worked that well with McGinn. And a teasing ball in, it's a wonderful ball in, but what a piece of defending from William Murphy. Danger still not clear. McGlynn to try again. And now McGinn to try again. Well, that's a disappointing end, but a wonderful move up to that point, and Linfield thankful that William Murphy was well positioned.
Well, fabulous play down this right hand side. Great understanding between McGinn and McGlynn. Aidan O'Kane will be disappointed. Didn't go with the runner. But Linfield have just got to be very careful. Derry getting the ball wide, and they're encouraging McGinn to have the ball to his feet.
It's an interesting tussle down Derry's right, Linfield's left, as Stephen Kenny more or less has two wingers out there in McGlynn and McGinn. But to counteract that, David Jeffrey is pretty much two fullbacks in Harkness and O'Kane, who has played left back.
But I do think that's the key tonight. McGinn's a very confident boy. You feel he can win the game. Both teams very well organised. It will take something special to win this game, I feel. And McGinn is the player who, well, he's looking most likely at the moment.
Here's Gray. Looks for one down the middle, header away by Murphy. Cool defending from Bailey. Takes out a pass as well. Malloy to quickly break that up. Now Munster in a race here with Delaney. We'll happily see it back to his goalkeeper.
He's a good goalkeeper, I like him. Very confident, very composed, good hands, and he starts every situation so well.
It's starting quickly again from a dead ball or Derry, and McGinn is off and running. Nice support if he chooses to use it, still with Niall McGinn. Is there a finish at the end of this? David Jeffrey must be concerned with McGinn.
You know, we speak in sport the importance of confidence. And the number 20 of Derry, Niall McGinn, just shows so much confidence in his play. He knows he's playing at the top of his game. He just wants the ball, any part of the park.
He'd be disappointed with his ultimate effort, McGinn. Everything up to that point was positive. The watchful gaze of his manager, Gerard Doherty, sends it long. Now McGlynn. Forward by Derry. Percentage ball into the corner. Murphy forced to turn. Might have been better off putting that out of play. He's presented it straight to McGinn. A great ball in. Desperate defending again from Linfield, and the chip to the back post.
Well, David Jeffrey's got a little bit of a problem. He knows that. He's very concerned about the Derry strength down this right-hand side. They're giving McGinn the ball. McGlynn's supporting him. They're putting crosses in. Just not enough red and white shirts in the box.
It was a good late arrival from the left flank from Billy Dennehy. His first game in this competition for Derry tonight. Making his first start, rather, did feature late on. The victory here against Glentoran. Ferguson can't keep that one in play. And the referee is going to bring this back here. He's going to have a word with someone, is it? Noel Bailey? What's that about?
Well, to think of verbals, I think that Noel was a little bit unhappy with one or two of the decisions still going on. Important player, Noel, skipper of the side. Just needs to concentrate in this game tonight.
I think he was just making that point that it's wearing the captain's armband. He just wants to make a point or two to Anthony Buttimer. It's been all change at Linfield over the last 6 months or so. Losing players of the calibre of Peter Thompson, Thomas Stewart, ironically coming here. Mark Dixon, Conor Downey have all left the club. A rebuilding job. Speaking to David Jeffrey before the game, he figures it's about the fourth team he's tried to put together. These things often take time. Some of his new young guns certainly need to show up tonight. Here's Munster, one of them, and another in Garrett. He's back inside to Curran. He's already produced a fine save from Doherty, looking to put the goalkeeper in action again. He'll settle for a corner.
But that's better from Linfield. I always feel they're better when they get the ball down, the pass and play, they go through the middle of the park, they give Garrett better service, and then he can put in the telling cross.
Now William Murphy up from the back, Michael Gold in the area, Jonathan Harkness arriving too. Conor Hagan, Glenn Ferguson, plenty in blue up for this. Doherty's watching it. It's gone through a ruck of players, and eventually Doherty gets his hands on it and looks to set his side going forward early. Scampering away is Dennehy. McGinn wants it in the corner. Dennehy holds on. And now looks to go far side, but Bailey, using all his experience, picked up a very good position. Now Curran. Digs one out to Garrett.
Better game now, fast and furious at the start. Nobody really got the ball down to pass and play, but much better football, much better movement from both sides.
Damien Curran is come across to have a look at this again. That's Curran to put it in. Ferguson trying to hold it up, but muscled out of it by two Derry defenders, and now Farron is running. Nutmeg on Hagan, and Hagan coming back for more. Farron holding on. And Farron winning his throw in one end to the other in a matter of seconds for Derry.
I think that's where Derry are very good. You know, they start well from the goalkeeper, but they do break very quickly. Good pace up front.
Crossing chance here, and Gray has put it in there. Gault's header will come only as far as Derry going on the outside. Might go himself, might look to provide, and he has done, and it's crossed the line, and Derry lead. Mark Farron, who scored twice against Linfield at Windsor, has got one against them at the Brandywell. On Stephen Kenny's side in front.
Well, David Jeffrey will be disappointed. Linfield felt they'd got numbers back, they'd done all the work. The header out was poor. After that, a slip. And then when the ball came in, they thought they'd got the ball away. Marking poor, 1 yard, 2 yards free in the box. You've got to be tight there. And that's a big goal for Derry City.
Well, no Linfield defender marched the run of Farron. An impudent flick found its way into the corner. And Derry City hauling the pressure now on the 2005 champions. So as it stands with a 1-0 scoreline in both venues in Group 2, it will be Derry City and Glentoran heading for the semi-finals. Still a lot of football to be played though. Remember, from the other group, Drogheda United will have home advantage against the runners-up in this group. Cork City will be on their travels. McGlynn. Delaney has managed to keep that in play. Now McGlynn. To wrap his foot around it, away by Bailey. Taken in by Malloy. McGlynn again. McGinn. Placed by O'Kane. They're trying to double up on him. Should leave room for McGlynn. Let's have a little ball inside for Malloy. And Derry now beginning to enjoy this. Here's the goal scorer, Farron. McGlynn in. This could be dangerous, and McGlynn gets the return.
Yeah, terrific football from Derry City. Very confident, arrogant. They've got that goal. They believe they can knock the ball about. They've got space and time. Maybe this strike should have been better. And Linfield have a little problem. Morrow, centre forward for Derry's, coming short towards the ball, pulling Murphy out. There's a space in there, and the movement of Farron is giving Noel Bailey a little problem because there's too much area there, too much grass from the attack.
Some big World Cup qualifiers coming your way on SETANTA on Saturday from 4:45 on SETANTA Ireland. England versus Kazakhstan for Republic of Ireland viewers, and then from Ireland's group also on Saturday 7:15 kickoff for Bulgaria versus Italy. Slovenia versus Northern Ireland on SETANTA Sports 1 is from 7:30. Those all on Saturday, and then on Wednesday, October 15th from 6:30 on SETANTA Sports 1, England's trip to Belarus. In the SETANTA Sports Cup tonight, though, in Group 2, it's advantage Derry City here, advantage Glentoran at the Oval. Delaney in incisively. It's up in the air from Harkness. O'Kane got a shout and left it, but then had to play it. Harkness pressurised. And Derry have a throw in. Linfield just having to be in here for a moment or two. Well, isn't lost for David Jeffrey's side. We saw against St. Pat's at Windsor Park how Pats dominated the first period, but then they left holding on for a point in the end. And here's Garrett coming forward. Tricky little customer. Initial cross charge down, second effort has gone behind.
Yeah, it's a good break from Linfield. Lots of pace down the right hand side. Garrett got a little bit of space, but again you see the Derry City players working so hard to get back goal side.
That's the home support making all the noise now. Course for that home semi-final that they covet. Yeah, from Ferguson is a good one. Golds followed by Delaney. Ferguson opting to spread it wide towards Garrett. He's quick and managed to keep it in play. Faced by Gray. It's come off Derry's left back and a good header away by Malloy. Linfield throw in though. The tallest of sides, David Jeffrey's outfit. So we've seen a couple of free kicks taken quickly, lumping it into the box. But Clive Delaney and Mark McChrystal will be happy with most things in the air.
I think he has done a fantastic job really with the limitations he has had this year, the problems he has had. He's been inspirational with the players, and I think he's so important to the club. And you can see tonight the young guns are working hard, playing reasonably well, but they're against a very strong Derry side.
Well, Linfield, over the course of the short history of this competition, arguably the side that have embraced it best, have flown the flag for the Irish League. And it will certainly hurt them, particularly their manager, if they go out tonight. Never failed to come out of a group. Champions in 2005. Beaten semi-finalists 2006, beaten finalists last year. At the moment, looking up against it here.
The one problem they have at the moment, both centre forwards are dragging the two centre backs of Linfield all over the place. Lots of space through the middle of the Linfield defence. They've got to be careful, they've got to cover that.
McGlynn, confident touch. And again, waiting for Morrow, stands one up towards the back post. Then he got a head on it, not much more he could do. And now Curran. It wasn't a great ball for Galt. Malloy looks to slip one through for Farron. Now, do they sense blood, Derry City? Are they coming for that second goal? Goals can always change the pattern of a game, and just looking at Damien Curran out there denied by that brilliant save from Gerard Doherty, had that gone in it would have been certainly a different complexion on this one. Harkness late on McGinn there, acknowledged by the referee, who's happy to allow an advantage. Forward by Gray. Here's the goal scorer, Farron. Forward by Derry. Three Derry men forward there. As William Murphy was looking around wondering where the rest of his defence was. Garrett squeezes it through. Munster's layoff. Curran goes right to Hagan. Garrett. Linfield happy to have possession for a moment or two.
Yes, as we said about Derry in the first game, or the last game against St. Pat's, the first half I thought they were excellent. Their passing was good. It was the movement off the ball, especially front players. Morrow, I thought, was excellent in the first half of that game. With that movement, it drags defenders about, leaves space, and then you need players moving from the middle of the park or wide positions.
We saw a real contrast of emotion in the stands. There's a late flag up against Farron. Looked like he might have strayed just half a yard.
He shouldn't have went. He shouldn't have went. He should have stayed. Great run from Morrow. Good movement in the middle of the park. Decent pass. Look along the line. If you're going to interfere with offside, stand still. Linfield just got to be careful. Playing very high. And we've already mentioned the pace of Derry up front.
And Sammy Morrow was thinking he was through there. You could see Farron was trying to hold his run, but wasn't quick enough in taking that extra step back.
Didn't try hard enough. It is hard, you know, you look along that line, you feel and you see all that grass and you think you're one against the keeper. Your instinct is to go, but you've got to have a discipline.
Well, Morrow not neglecting his defensive responsibilities either. Back keeping an eye on Michael Gold for this free kick. It's Murphy against Delaney. That will be a good contest. Strong challenge by O'Kane. He seemed to give it up as a Derry throw-in, but then he's smartly onto this as it's awarded in his favour. Important header away from Barry Malloy. Good thinking at the throw-in. Looking for options here. Harkness not seeing too many available to him, and Munster came at him at an awkward height. Derry swarming in defence.
Well, just over 30 minutes gone, and I think David Jeffrey's the manager with the biggest problems. Obviously the one goal down, but he just feels he's got a problem here in this left back, left side situation because Derry are so strong there, and of course the movement of the two Derry front players is pulling the two centre backs of Linfield all over the place. But we have said it before, Linfield can always produce something special.
Well, Linfield certainly not an ordinary side coming here, but they're facing a side in Derry in form. David Jeffrey's side are off to a good start in defence of their league title. 7 games played, 6 wins and a draw. They've also advanced to the final of the County Antrim Shield. All that with the new faces bedding in, and that was a cheeky effort. No surprise it came from Glenn Ferguson, who spotted Gerard Doherty a few yards off his line.
Well, it's very difficult to really criticise Glenn Ferguson. Been a fantastic player for Linfield on that occasion. Very relaxed, 10 out of 10 for style, but well, he'll not be happy with the result. Wondering. And they can get back into this. Still 1-0, it's just 1-0. Linfield were 2 down, as we said, in the corresponding fixture here last year. Left with a 2-2 draw. What they did have then, Brian, and perhaps don't have as much now though, is the attacking potential going forward. Remember, Mark Dixon was doing really well for them at the time, and Peter Thompson always a threat up there. And while we have this break in play, let's show you the table then in Group 2 as it stands. It's good viewing for Derry City, who are on course. They started the night on 10 points, on course to move on to 13. Glentoran on 8, Linfield 7 and Pats on 5. That's how it stands currently. Derry coming looking for a second goal here. McGinn was alive to the fact that it was taken quickly again, but the best cross that he can deliver. Dreadful cross. Great position from Derry City. Good pass and good movement, very quick play. Linfield on their heels, were caught out with a quick free kick. When he needed that little bit of quality, just didn't produce on that occasion. Yeah, you spoke about Linfield having that greater strength and depth, and I think Thompson's a big loss. And as you say, and I think we spoke about it at the top of the programme, the number of forward players they lost in the summer, and it's very, very hard to get that quality back quickly. And even in the middle third, look at how strong Derry are in there this evening. While Michael Galt and Damien Kern are in the middle of the park, Paul McAreevy, who hasn't played as much football perhaps this season as we thought he might have,
they've also lost Jamie Mulgrew, who's probably been one of their best players this campaign. He's out with a hamstring injury. Conor Downey's left the club. Some guys who'd certainly be able to put their foot in, and as Mulgrew has shown in recent weeks, find the net as well. There's a real confidence about this Derry side in recent months. They backed it up with silverware with that impressive win at Ferry Carrick Park in the League Cup final. Hitting Wexford Youths for 6. This is a game, despite already being qualified, that means so much to the players out there.
You know, winning's a great habit. I think it gets into your system, and you don't want to lose a game. Gives you that confidence to take on anybody, and you start to believe that any team you're going to play against, you're going to win the game. And I think Derry are at that stage. They've got a strong unit. They've won cups, as you say, and this man's done, I think, a fabulous job.
Well, Bohemians might be streaking to the league title. A lot of astute judges, based on what Derry have been producing in recent months, are saying they're a good bet for next season. Stephen Kenny has added well to an already impressive squad. Here's Munster. Frame of Delaney in the way. 7.5 minutes or so. The 45 plus whatever Anthony Buttimer will add on. And still it's Mark Farren's goal midway through the first half that separates the sides here at the Brandywell. Delaney in smartly. McGinn has been dumped on the deck a couple of times now. Johnny Harkness, who's had a couple of little bites at him, is going to earn himself a talking to.
Well, I think David Jeffrey not best pleased. He felt that it was the players complaining the referee has earned his left back the yellow card, but I do think that after the early exchanges, Harkness got much tighter and was really trying to engage very quickly. 1 or 2 challenges, and McGinn invites that challenge. You've got to be very careful. I think it was going to happen.
Here's Derry. Sends it forward. Morrow looking for the flick. Farren likewise. Bailey will shepherd it back to Alan Manus.
Well, I think after the Derry City goal, they had a swagger about them. They were passing the ball, and you thought they were going to really take the game to Linfield, but Linfield have come back into it.
Good work there from Ferguson as well. Here's Curran. Hagan has a looks to put one into the corner for Michael Galt, making a foray forward. Driven along by Dennehy. Manus is advancing. Morrow is closing. Manus forced to put his boot through it, and Clive Delaney. Well, had that gone in, I think he could have retired.
Well, Alan Manus well out of his goal. The big centre half felt it was worth the risk. Direction, well, just not good enough.
Clive Delaney was credited with an OG in the 3-1 defeat at Windsor Park back in March. Anxious to balance things up. Flag up on the far side here.
Well, I think that Linfield know Delaney's so strong in there, and they've had their best passage to play when they've got the ball down. They've passed the ball through the middle of the park. They've given better service to Munster and Ferguson, and then try to bring wing play or wingers into play. The moment they're going back to front just a little bit too quickly now.
Clive Delaney has become a big personality in the Derry dressing room, wearing the captain's armband now with Peter Hutton still out injured. Malloy, nice ball inside. Here's Dennehy coming across from left to right. McGinn looking to put a cross in there. Conor Hagan, who had tracked Dennehy across, putting himself in line of it. It's a big 5 minutes or so now. Derry will come looking for a second. David Jeffrey will know that perhaps his side really can't afford to concede a second. McGlynn comes off O'Kane. That'll be a Linfield free kick.
Well, I think that's where Stephen Kenny will be a little bit disappointed with his team. They've played some beautiful football. They've got themselves into some terrific positions. The final ball, the cross in, hasn't been good enough.
Very good crowd in tonight who have paid for their tickets. Those there behind the stand over on this side, taking the more cheeky option. Happy enough there, providing the rain holds off. So far it has. Just beaten to it. And Derry with a great ball forward for Farron. Morrow's at the back post. Now checks his run, and it's pulled back. Oh, and a fine save from Manus. He'll have to get there. Way back from Dennehy. McGlynn to put it in towards the back post. And what a wonderful Derry break. Alan Manus to the rescue for Linfield.
Well, fabulous play from Derry City. Really slick pass and good movement. And Alan Manus had to really make the save. He was quick off his line, but Linfield just got to be careful. They are pushing people forward. There is space in behind the back four, and Derry City very quick to exploit it.
And you see why he's a senior international, Alan Manus. Important save for David Jeffrey's side. Garrett. Hogan tied to the touchline. He's going to be forced back here. Has he been fouled? He has, and there was no need for it.
Yeah, terrific pass, terrific movement. You can see him looking up and pulls the ball back. It's good movement. It was, I thought, meant for Morrow. Good cover, good shot, good save.
We've seen Dennehy on a few occasions make that run from outside to in. We saw Farron raiding down the left flank. He tucked in. He's pulled back, well, either for he or Morrow. Fine save from Manus, and there's a foul on Garrett. Gray was beaten and knew he was.
Well, I think Derry City thought there was an offside flag. Should have been shown. The linesman right in line said play on. Great take from the young winger. And Stephen Gray, I think on one or two occasions has been caught coming out instead of really being sure that the player's in his sight. He knows he's onside or knows he's offside. On that occasion you get caught out. Good touch. Yeah, you can see him just slipping over.
He's been carrying a hip injury for the last few weeks, Stephen Gray. I wonder if he's 100%, but beaten there by Garrett. A yellow card to follow, so we've got 5 in the book now. In a threatening position this for Linfield. Doherty waits on the Derry goal line as Kern puts it in.
It's a waste. David Jeffrey will be furious. Just, over 1 minute to play. Just before half time, you need that goal back. You've got the free kick, you've got to take care, you've got to put it into a good area, and then you've got to get good movement. For me, wasted chance.
30 seconds or so remaining to the half-time whistle, and some glum faces amongst the Linfield travelling support and officials. I wonder if they've heard the news from the Oval. Glentoran's early lead goal there would be the ultimate kick in the teeth for Linfield were they to go out tonight, and their great Belfast rivals to go through.
Well, I think when they look at the first half, David Jeffrey will be a little bit disappointed, certainly with the scoreline, but Stephen Kenny, he'll be delighted. His team have played well, and they've got that 1 goal lead.
Well, a massive night in Group 2, and so far it's advantage Derry City and Glentoran. Thanks to Mark Farron. Derry have the lead here at the Brandywella. Cracking atmosphere for a game that means so much to both sides. It's Derry City who began the night top of the group, who are in the ascendancy. Big crowd in for this one. The meeting of real old rivals. Tackles were flying in thick and fast. The yellow card has been flying out of the referee's pocket. A significant moment after this wonderful save from Doherty to deny Kern came at the other end with a goal for Mark Farron. Pat and Felix to analyse that first half in Dublin next.
This weekend we've got a World Cup qualifier. Slovenia hosts Northern Ireland. In a boxing double, heavyweight Vitaly Klitschko returns in search of the WBC title, and a light heavyweight unifier Antonio Tarver v Chad Dawson. The PGA Fall Series moves to Texas, and there's the final major on the Champions Tour. There's all-access football from the Blue Square Premier and live NBA basketball from London's O2 Arena. All that this weekend on SETANTA Sports.
The idea to build an eco-friendlier car before the environment became a hot topic. Hybrid Synergy Drive, a petrol-electric car. For us, it's only the first step to our ultimate idea, a car that produces clean air while driving. An absurd idea? Maybe.
Royal Mail is helping thousands of businesses grow. For ideas to help your business, visit royalmail.com.
Cyprus, the year-round island.
Clear indoors, Transitions lenses automatically adjust to changing light outdoors and block harmful UV rays and reduce glare. Transitions.
New advanced performance. Because she was born in Sao Paulo. Because she loved putting on a good show. And a good curry. Because she was top of her class in French. Milena is one of our cabin crew. Together they come from more than 100 nations, so you'll always feel a little more at home with us, wherever you're from. Fly Emirates to more than 100 destinations.
Our music. Our blogs. Our maps. Now we can all contribute to the web from the palm of our hands. The new Nokia N96. The web now made by hand.
Are you paying too much for your car insurance? People on average save 33% on their premiums by visiting moneysupermarket.com. That's why we're the #1 price comparison site.
That's the car insurance sorted. What's next?
Whatever you're looking for, moneysupermarket.com compares the market in seconds to get you the best deal. So if you want to cut the cost of your car insurance, visit moneysupermarket.com now. Moneysupermarket.com, the price comparison site.
Welcome to Old Trafford, Manchester United against Real Madrid. Toma carrera, chute Wayne.
We have a blast from the past for you on Thursday with legends such as Frank Stibble and Brian Robinson and Dennis Irwin pulling on their boots again as the England legends take on the Ireland legends at 7:30 on SETANTA Ireland. It's a huge day of live World Cup qualifiers on Saturday on SETANTA Sports. Kicking it all off is England as they take on Kazakhstan from 4:45 on SETANTA Ireland. Following that is an important game from the Republic of Ireland's qualifying group. Bulgaria take on world champions Italy at 7:15, which is also on SETANTA Ireland.
Meanwhile, over on Setanta Sports 1, Nigel Worthington's Northern Ireland side have a vital Group 3 clash with Slovenia. Coverage gets underway at 7:30. On Wednesday the 15th of October, Fabio Capello's men continue their qualifying campaign in Belarus. Our coverage gets underway at 6:30 on Setanta Sports 1.
Half-time at the Brandywell. Derry City 1, Linfield 0. A lot of work to do for Linfield in that second half. Need to score twice. Can they do it?
We were talking beforehand about how difficult it was going to be. I don't think Derry have been brilliant in the first half. I think they've been a better side. I think Linfield have struggled. I mean,
it's only one goal though, is it? But he'll be really disappointed, David. I mean, that's a poor header from Galt. Then the reaction, diving in around the edge of the box.
Here as well, Pat. He should have closed down Derry. It's one of those. Mark Farron's gone behind him. He's done well. I mean, Michael Galt should do better there.
It's a lovely little finish, isn't it? It's just...
it's one of those where it didn't really connect, and I think it often happens, Pat.
It's a delightful little flick. Didn't catch it absolutely perfectly.
Didn't catch it perfectly.
He won't mind if that's the winning goal.
No, it will not. And but as Brian said in commentary, the Morrow and Farron have caused a problem with their movement. McGlynn coming up on the outside as well. Guys with legs, Pat. They've got energy, and Linfield are finding that difficult to deal with. But as we've often said here, I mean, how many times have I sat here and said, look, the Brandywell before Derry 2-0 up, and you say to yourself, well, they're not going to come back from that, and then they produce a fantastic performance in the second half.
It'd be so unusual to have a semi-finals without Linfield, and David Jeffrey will be desperate for a turnaround of that second half.
Well, it's a monumental task. I think, we talked earlier about the guys with the legs, and obviously the longer the match goes on, the more tired you would get.
It would hurt even more if it was Glentoran that was to take their place in the semi-finals.
Yes.
Big night at the Oval.
Yes. After 5 minutes, the Glens had their first opportunities. The sculling header, and Barry Ryan pushes over. But the Glens took a lead a minute later, and from a corner, Barry Ryan flaps, doesn't really clear, and Fordyce is there and sticks it away well.
Shocking defending.
I mean, Barry Ryan wouldn't want to see this again. I mean, it's a decent enough corner. It's put into the mix, doesn't deal with it well.
What's Ryan Guy doing? Number 21.
Well, you can ask what a few people are doing. I mean, St. Pat's first opportunity came just after about a quarter of an hour. Clemson's Patrick makes a run through, plays Mark Quigley, and probably should have done a bit better, hits it into the side net. Maybe should have done a wee bit better, particularly should have opened up his body, maybe gone to the far post. But a good chance here, Fahey's free kick, and it's missed by Fitzpatrick.
What a
just
delivery.
Drops. Brilliant delivery. And but the Glens break away.
No wonder Bertha Lynn wants him.
Well, it's still all to play for in the group of death to see what develops in the second 45 minutes. John, Pat and I after the break.
World Cup qualifiers on Setanta Sports this October. Saturday the 11th, Northern Ireland need the points as they travel to Slovenia. Then the following Wednesday, can England keep that Fabio feeling?
And what a night it's turning into for Fabio Capello in England.
As the Three Lions take on Belarus. World Cup qualifiers this October, live only on Setanta Sports.
Just sensational.
Starts Saturday the 11th with Slovenia Northern Ireland.
Kellogg's Crunchy Nut. Ludicrously tasty.
Royal Mail is helping thousands of businesses grow. For ideas to help your business, visit royalmail.com.
Welcome to Old Trafford, Manchester United against Real Madrid. Carisma, 10 FIFA, 0-9. Toma carrera, chute Wayne. Ready is through, and Ready stays, and Ready scores. You can't get me cold. Stop your fancy footwork now and give us a goal.
I tried to do handstands for you. I tried to do headstands for you. Every time I fell on you, yeah. Every time I fell for you.
Looking to move home? On findaproperty.com, you can search the latest properties online, all on one site.
Because findaproperty.com works with local estate agents to bring you homes for sale and for rent as soon as they're available.
So whatever you're looking for,
findaproperty.com
has homes for everyone.
Findaproperty.com, where the properties come flying in.
Because of fire. And the perfect temperature for medium rare. Because of yeast. And what a Frenchman did with it. Because of fine dining, we all expect excellent food and wine. That's why Emirates serves award-winning cuisine on every flight. Fly Emirates to more than 100 destinations.
We asked visitors from the UK to New Zealand how they feel about holidaying in the youngest country on earth. Watch.
We're cousins. This is going to go down as a classic family holiday. Classic holiday. We're going to be annoying our children in 30 years. Yeah. We managed to do some shore diving. Yeah, we got 5. Yeah. 6. We're vegetarians. I just can't believe about the scenery. It's just like going through the whole of Europe in like 30 minutes. I'm walking through these beautiful landscapes and it just puts everything into perspective. I just feel like a weight's been lifted. I just feel free.
So what do you say, UK? Start planning your New Zealand holiday now at newzealand.com.
(1-0) to Derry City at the Brandywell. I see that David Jeffrey's got Paul McAreevy on the bench. He's a man that's come in and impacted games, started games, done very well. I mean, what are you going to do? You need to change in the scoreline. Do you think he'll change the team?
Well, maybe I think he'd wait maybe 15-20 minutes. I think he'd be disappointed by Michael Galt's, lack of desire and quality in the first half when you expect a big performance from him. Paul McAreevy's been out, and in and out. He's got 1 or 2 injuries, but I think it's a fascinating 45 minutes. I mean, this is what the SETANTA Sports Cup is all about. Nights like this, both matches on a knife edge. So many things could change, so many permutations and possibilities over the next 45 minutes, and it won't be for the faint-hearted.
Will there be any changes? Can the Blues come back? Let's go to Will at the Brandywell and find out.
Well, Damien Kern picked up a knock just before half-time. He's expected to start the second half. Neither side have actually come out yet. They're still in the dressing rooms. They'll be kept an awful long time, which means, as of now, we're not sure there are going to be any changes, but we don't reckon there will be. We'll tell you by the time the second half kicks off, which will be described, as always, by Brian Hamilton and Des Kern.
Thanks, Will. Yeah, a point worth making that both sides are still in the dressing room, Brian. And what do you read into that?
Well, I always feel that David Jeffrey has a lot to say at half-time, especially when his team haven't performed as well as they can play. He knows that his team talk's absolutely crucial if Linfield are going to produce in the second half. They need to play better, they need to get a goal. Stephen Kenny, he'll be calming his players down, saying, well done, first half not bad, better quality in the final third, second goal, the next goal, crucial.
Spoke of David Jeffrey and what he'll say. I just wonder what Stephen Kenny will be saying, particularly from a psychological point of view, because we've seen so many sides go out against Linfield, looked like they were going to run through a comfortable victory in the first half, and yet at the end, as we saw against St. Pat's and as we saw against Cork City when they were under the caution yet won the semi-final last year, that Linfield can produce in the second half of a game.
Well, I think Stephen Kenny a little bit just concerned a little bit. His team against St. Pat's the first half were outstanding. That kind of performance, just like tonight, passed the ball beautifully, great movement. The second half, they defended a little bit deep, took their foot off the pedal. I think that's what he'll be telling them now. You've had a decent first half, keep it going, keep the pressure going, keep moving the ball quickly, lots of good movement, and as I say, the next goal, absolutely crucial.
Will there be any mention in the Linfield dressing room of events at the Oval, do you think, where Glentoran have a 1-0 lead at half-time?
No, I don't think that'll be considered at all. I think David will be aware of it. He's clever enough to know that he needs to know the scoreline to either push on or whatever, but he knows he needs to win the game now. He knows he needs a goal, and I just feel it's going to be hard for him, and it's only someone like David Jeffrey who can motivate his players that way.
Well, Mark Farren's goal midway through the first half is what separates the sides at half-time. It's his 14th of the season. He's the top scorer for Derry City. It's his 4th in the SETANTA Sports Cup in the history of it, and 3 of them, incidentally, have come against tonight's opposition. Well, a fantastic atmosphere in for this one, with so much to play for here tonight. Doherty with a brilliant save to deny Damien Curran early in the first half. But then Derry began to take a stranglehold on the game, and that cheeky finish from Mark Farren, the only goal of the game so far. Manus producing a fine save from Billy Dennehy late in the first half to make sure that it was only a 1-goal deficit that Linfield will be chasing in this second period. But just looking out onto the pitch, and David Jeffrey is prowling. Must be having a word with Clive Delaney out there, is he? With a big second half needed from his side.
Well, he's a character for sure, and when you speak with him before the game, he's always motivating his players. He's always very confident. He always gives great respect to the other teams, but he'll know that he's expecting a big performance tonight. And well, he was talking to Delaney. I think
he's not trying to sign anyone out there, is he?
Might be. I'm not sure it's a centre half he needs. I think maybe he would try and sign 1 or 2 forward players just to give him a little bit of an inspiration and give him that goal that he needs.
We saw Stephen Kenny as well. He's in the process of putting together a very, very strong squad up here, and it's been showing as they've been coming strong in the last few months. And as it stands, they will be hosting Cork City in the SETANTA Sports Cup semi-final. It's still 45 minutes plus to play here at the Brandywell. Here we go again then. Linfield and Michael Gold immediately sending it into the corner, but he's sent it out over the end line. And the first 15 minutes here will be key now. Hearing that Michael Galt might have led you astray in the first half. He came in on 3 yellow cards. I thought another one tonight would rule him out of the semi if Linfield were to get there. We're hearing that it won't though. So far it's only Kevin Derry in red and white who will miss the semi-final after picking up a bookie in the first half. Morrow has been flagged offside. Flagged his effort wide anyway after receiving from Farren. How tight was that one?
Well, Morrow will be slightly pleased the flag went up because it was a fabulous chance and he missed the goal. Wonderful play from his partner in crime up front, and you can see I think the linesman, the assistant, got that absolutely spot on. But Linfield need to be careful. They mustn't stand off. They mustn't allow him to turn like that. Farren is really playing at the top of his game, goal scorer, confident. You can't let him turn and run at you like that.
As we're watching Manus launch it forward, I was keeping an eye on Noel Bailey, who was exhorting another effort out of his side to start this second half strongly. They need to put that little bit of doubt in Derry minds that they're still very much in this game. After Derry bossed that first period, Garrett caught on it. Easy looking challenge from Glenn Ferguson, and he's in again. And that's going to be a Linfield free kick. The assistant referee on the near side flagging. Now Damien Curran looking for something off the training ground here, to the feet of Ferguson. Now Hagan coming inside and then going on the outside again. He's worked this well. Nice ball into the front post as well. The final touch was off Aidan O'Kane, and it will be a Derry City goal kick.
Not a bad free kick, a little bit of invention. Ferguson pinning the centre back, giving himself space to have the ball to feet and then playing it wide. Good movement, maybe just a better cross coming in.
Well, we will soon be seeing Paul McAreevy The man who has scored in all 4 seasons of this competition. The only others to do that, Peter Thompson and Dennis Behan. He's an experienced campaigner, he knows what these games are like. Looks like David Jeffrey will be introducing him early in this second half. Delaney to send it forward and take your pick here. Linfield again stepping out.
Well, they're very well marshalled at the back, 2 very experienced players in Murphy and Bailey. It's a risky game, and Derry have got that pace up front, but they've also got the runners from the middle of the park.
Ferguson was pinned there by McChrystal, but Ferguson's on it again in the danger area, looking to find Munster. You could see Gerard Doherty's intention straight away as Linfield were pushing men forward, trying to release Farron on the break. Here's McChrystal and Ferguson again. Malloy well positioned. Derry, he's been hauled to the ground by Damien Kern. And that is the signal for the substitution to take place. And it's going to be the number 16, Aidan O'Kane, who makes way. And Paul McAreevy to come on. Damien Kern looks like he will be going out to that left-hand side. And it's the old partnership that we've seen for Linfield over many years in this competition now. Galton, McAreevy in the middle. Can they wrest control for their side though, Brian?
Well, I think McAreevy is a very good player, has been a very good player in this competition for Linfield. Big and strong, got lots of experience, and him and Galt know each other's play so well, but it's an area they need to really win in this second half.
Definitely made an impact, McAreevy, when he came on in the second period in the 1-1 at home to St. Pat's. They need the big guns to step up now in this second half. Here's another Galt. And Garrett looking to have a little dart at Gray again. Managed to eke out a cross, but Barry Malloy, as he so often does, steps in to help out his defence.
Yeah, decent play from Linfield, good pass and good movement. They've started the second half quite brightly.
1-0, it's still just 1-0. Garrett comes back to Murphy. Forward by Bailey. Header away by Gray. Picked up by Morrow. Sends the dummy to McAreevy, but Murphy in incisively. Delaney with a little tester for his goalkeeper. McAreevy into the corner. Leo from Ferguson. McAreevy again. Curran getting forward from midfield. Danger again snuffed out by Malloy. And now Farron peels away and looks for the ball from Morrow. Race on here between Farron and Bailey, and Farron has got there. Bailey coming back, desperately trying to make the challenge. Derry City supporters asking for a penalty, and Anthony Butler is unmoved by their appeals.
Well, it wasn't a penalty kick, I don't think so anyway. I think the referee got that right, but Linfield very fortunate. Great play from the front two, Morrow and Farron.
Ball touching forward, Malloy matching him step for step. Well, he says no penalty.
Well, he did well to get in front. You see him getting back, he just slips, trips over the ball, and there was 2 or 3 blue shirts back anyway, so I think the referee, well done on that occasion for him.
Good decision. Noel Bailey has never been one to make a rash challenge in his own penalty area. No intention of hanging up his boots just yet, Bailey. Well past the 1,000 game mark for Linfield this season. Paul Munster up there for Linfield has toiled so far, hasn't seen much decent ball. It's a foul on McGinn again, and Johnny Hartness has to be very careful.
Well, I think it was the referee actually gave the free kick. I think the official on that, yeah, I think he just put his flag up for a throw-in, but you're right, Harkness just needs to be careful.
I wonder, had he not been booked in the first half, if the referee might have deemed that worthy of a yellow. McGinn would have been free down that right hand side. Here he is now though, popping up in field, slips a lovely ball through, and Dennehy for 2. Great chance, but it's whistled wide.
Took it well, struck it well. You got to hit the target from that position, but McGinn, brilliant. Came across, lovely pass inside, incisive pass. Should win the second goal.
Well, Dennehy did the hard part. He held and held. He didn't want to stray offside. Ben was there to be struck. Surprisingly, just inches wide. It was clever from Garrett. Felt the contact from Stephen Gray. And talking about left backs who need to be careful. Gray, another who was booked in that first half. Hold up play from Ferguson. Trying to squeeze it through to Garrett. He was the goal scorer in the surprise 4-1 home defeat against Glentoran. The margin of the victory at least. Munster scored that one wide.
Well, Sean Ola's lacking experience there. Needed to get on the ball, but I know the talk will be going on in the technical area with the Derry coaching staff, and they're very well aware of it. What Linfield are doing, they're pushing up from the back, they're pushing the midfield players on. That's taking them into the attacking third of Derry's half of the park, and Derry are not pushing up when they get the ball out. They've got to push up, they've got to play Linfield further up the park.
And still 1-0 we're hearing at the Oval. Early goal for Glentoran has them in the ascendancy there. I'm sure they'll be in contact with events here, and they'll know that as it stands they will be heading to United Park in Drogheda to take on the defending champions, the two-time defending champions Drogheda United in the semi-final. How many would have predicted at the start of the campaign that St. Pat's would finish bottom of that group? Hagan in strongly, Garrett forward, takes the return from Ferguson, looking to have a run here. And there was no way the combined efforts of Dennehy and Delaney were going to let Garrett through there.
Yeah, nice little bit of passing, little triangle, little support, reckless challenge. Stephen Kenny will be concerned his team haven't started the second half very well at all.
Now, this is a surprise for me if a card doesn't follow this one. And Clive Delaney is one of the Derry players, one of several Derry players who's a yellow away from missing the semi-final, but I think he can count himself fortunate there, the Derry captain. Flip forward by McAreevy. Derry getting two men around Ferguson. Hagan into Ferguson. Lovely weight on that for McAreevy, who's trying to muscle his way beyond Barry Malloy. It's something that's not easily done. And Gray to complete the clearance for Derry. Barry Malloy has shown on a few occasions already in the second half how valuable he is there as that defensive central midfielder. Certainly been a better showing second half from Linfield, but as of yet they haven't been able to find a way beyond Gerard Doherty. Best effort in the game came early from Damien Kern. Now Dennehy, the Tralee man, stretching his legs. And that's been given in Linfield's favour. Forward by Garrett. Another play though. Stephen Kenny, I'm sure, would love the cushion of that second goal. Even a draw, of course, will see them top the group, but it matters so much to him and the Derry City players to finally at the sixth attempt get a win against Linfield. Trying to go on the outside, ball out of play.
Yeah, the game's gone through a scrappy spell, and I think it's more to do with Derry not really being able to get the ball down to pass and play and get that fluency about their play which they had in the first half.
Here's McAreevy. in the jersey. Even Derry taking a risk there, haven't been booked in the first half. Here's Garrett, going for a wander infield. And now spreads it left to Harkness. McGinn coming to him. Harkness puts it down into the corner for Damien Kern. Hasn't managed to keep it in play. He was offside in any event.
Yeah, but there's an energy about Linfield in the second half which we can't see in Derry at the moment. And Stephen Kenny will be concerned about his team. He'll look for a leader out there to tell them, get the ball, start passing and playing, and play better than we're doing at the moment.
Well, it's one of the young newcomers for another here, Stephen Garrett, who was giving his best on the right hand side, replaced by Mark Miskimen. 4 goals in his Linfield season so far. Just turned 20 in June, another of the young breed. We should mention as well another of those who's missing tonight that we've neglected to mention as of yet, Michael Carville, who we saw show up really well against St. Pat's at Windsor when we were last there. But Stephen Kenny, his side seemed to have finally come to grips with this competition. 3rd in the group in 2006, 3rd in 2007, into the competition this season by beating Cove in a playoff. They've had to fight hard to establish themselves in the SETANTA Sports Cup after their loss at Windsor. As Bailey clears that earlier this season, they had just 2 wins in 13 in the competition, both against Glentoran, but 3 wins and a draw since. And that's what has them in pole position. Lovely spin here, and Derry looking for a second. And Morrow's effort cannons off the defender, and they'll have to settle for a corner.
Fabulous play. Great touch. First touch was magnificent. Turned and moved. Left the centre half struggling. And it was good covering. But here we see him coming through. Lovely touch. He's always balanced. He's always got the ball under control. Bailey, terrific defending.
It's been a long wait for Sammy Morrow as the cruciate injury really curtailed his seasons. The last 2 indeed. He's beginning to show that getting to full fitness, what a threat he can be. Here's the corner, and there are several red and white climbing for that. It's been given as a corner. I'm quite sure if I saw a touch off a Linfield player in that.
Well, from our position, it looked to be a terrific corner kick. There looked to be a red and white shirt free, and just missed the header.
Opportunity there, Gunnar begging. Derry's corner right in on top of Manus, who was under pressure. Derry will try again. You can see Farron just making life difficult for Alan Manus. Blocking any advance there might be, and the header has crashed back up the crossbar, and it hasn't crossed the line. Pumping effort, and Linfield survive. Was it Delaney? Was it Stephen Gray? We'll have a look at that again in a moment, but the width of the crossbar denying Derry a 2-goal advantage.
Well, it was a fantastic header. Great service in. I think the pace on the cross was terrific, and it all needed was contact, and Linfield very fortunate.
Here goes McGinn, taking on Hagan, who can't afford to make the challenge there. And grateful the pressure was sufficient that McGinn's ball inside wasn't the greatest, easily dealt with by Manus. It's Ferguson down through the middle, and Doherty will welcome that back into his penalty area.
I think he does that role very, very well, the keeper-sweeper role, where he lets the ball come into the area, he can pick it up, he starts very, very well. He's a competent goalkeeper.
Crystal launching it long. Farron has the pace to keep it in play. Hand on the back, it looked like, from Hagan there. Here's Dennehy. Too close to the goalkeeper. McGinn fouled. That's as Derry his way on with it quickly. Gold stepping in though to halt McGinn. It's a free kick for his side as well. Murphy takes it to Curran. Now Hagan. Looking for options, looks for Ferguson. Over the head of Gray. Nicely weighted ball. to Kern, he'll try again. McAreevy. Hagan runs into two Derry players there. David Jeffrey below us, not best pleased with that. The actions of his fullback there.
Well, you make the position, you take the throw in, you get that little yard of space, and you want to put the cross in. Eventually, you're going to have to put it in. Two red and white shirts there, wrong way to go.
Little touch from Gold, doesn't come off, and now Derry will look to break, and red and white shirts pouring forward here. Morrow has Dennehy and Farron in the middle. Difficult looking ball, a wonderful Derry goal. Farron strikes again. The front two combine. Derry are heading for that home semi-final now.
Well, David Jeffrey going mad with his players, absolutely mad with his players, and just right. But this pass from Morrow, absolutely fantastic. Outside of his right foot, everybody thought he had played it too far, but the run in, the volley was expertly taken. Goalkeeper Manus, simply no chance. You've got to say it's going to be very difficult for Linfield now, but just before that, David Jeffrey was going absolutely mad with the fullback. He still had to go at him, had the space, put the cross in. He didn't do it. Derry on the break.
Well, Mark Farron hasn't been in the side in recent weeks, but with Kevin McHugh out suspended tonight, isn't he just taking his chance? Brilliantly controlled finish from Farron to add to that impudent effort in the first half. And just letting his manager know that he has all these strikers free and available, that he is still the number one, he's still the leading goal scorer this season. He feels he deserves a starting place based on tonight and based on his two finishes. He's got a case, hasn't he?
Well, I think Morrow and him have been excellent, and when you consider they're playing against William Murphy and Noel Bailey, who two very experienced players, two very confident centre-backs.
Well, let's quickly head down to Will Downing pitchside.
Robert Garrett, you need things to happen for you at the Oval now, I guess.
Yeah, but I think the lads can fight back here and get a draw, at least. I think we will fight back and get a draw.
While you're on the pitch, what do you make of the pace of this game?
Yeah, it's a high intensity game, but we'll come out here expecting that. And fortunately we're 2-0 down, but hopefully we can fight back.
Thanks for talking to us.
No problem.
Well, we've seen parallels to a year ago. Ferguson puts this in, Delaney heads away. Linfield were 2 down with 20 to play, got back for a 2-2 draw. But this looks a different Derry City. In terms of personnel, it's certainly a different Linfield. It's their best opportunity now of getting out of this group, of keeping that great run going. St. Pat's grabbing an equaliser at the Oval. That's what they need to happen now.
Well, Morrow got in the way. I think if he hadn't been in that position, Farron, I think he's playing really, really well tonight. His movement's terrific, his vision's great. You can see him now, just getting that space. And well, Morrow, brilliant. Outside of the right foot, almost perfect, but the volley, excellent.
Munster, good knockdown, but McLean vigilant defending. Put forward by Gold. Time and space for Gray. You know all about the importance, Brian, of striking partnerships, and Friday night when Farron was recalled, it was McHugh and Morrow. It was McHugh and Farron at times last year. There's been several different front twos for Derry, but you're impressed obviously with what we've seen from Farron and Morrow.
Well, I thought Morrow was very good the last game against St. Pat's. I thought his movement was terrific. Tonight he's comfortable when he comes off and has the ball, and there's no doubt the telepathy between the two, very good.
And here is Morrow again, spinning away from Murphy. Fancy that one. Drove it into the midriff of Paul McAreevy. That's out for a throw-in, and while we have a brief respite, just reminds you of some big World Cup qualifiers coming your way. On Saturday, a big day, England versus Kazakhstan from 4:45 on SETANTA Ireland for Republic of Ireland viewers. From the Republic of Ireland's group, Bulgaria versus Italy, a key game that one. 7:15 kickoff, also on SETANTA Ireland. Slovenia versus Northern Ireland, SETANTA Sports 1 from 7:30. And then on Wednesday, October 15th, join us from 6:30 on SETANTA Sports 1 for Belarus versus England. Still at the Oval, it remains Glentoran 1, St. Pat's 0. Wonderful raking ball, and what a touch from McGinn. Taking on Harkness, heading to the end line, looking to pull it back where he had two men waiting.
Well, that was simply fantastic from Derry City. Raking pass from the centre back, Mark McChrystal. Terrific, great take from McGinn. You know, unfortunately for him, just couldn't find the pass to finish the move off.
Now Delaney and Gray looking to threaten again here. Swinging by Dennehy. Header away was by Michael Galt. Here's Malloy. Derry. Gray back to Derry again. He'll be desperately disappointed to miss the semi-final. Farron taking on and beating Hagan. Now looking to turn provider. And a miscue. And that's going to go behind for a Derry City corner. Conor Hagan meanwhile in trouble.
I couldn't see what happened there. Well, you've got to say, Farron brilliant. Let the pace of the ball run past his body and was in trouble.
Well, I think Hagan, was it his knee he clutched just as he went to ground? The signal has gone for a stretcher and a substitution. This is very, very unfortunate for Conor Hagan.
Well, you've got to say this man has got major problems now. His team started the second half very well, come out. He obviously had a little bit of a charge at them at half time. They pushed that 10 yards further up the park and he was extremely disappointed. They had good chances to put crosses in, put pressure on the Derry defence, and of course when the blue shirts had gone forward they didn't put the cross in and they were exposed at the back. Two very good front players in Morrow and Farron, and at the moment David Jeffrey really under a lot of pressure because he needs to really pull the rabbit out of the hat now.
Let's hope this isn't as serious as it currently looks. Have a good substitute to bring on in Chris Lindsay. Go to right back, that was another thing. Conor Hagan, and credit to the Derry City supporters, they were applauding him as he is stretchered away. Chris Lindsay confirming that he's the man to come on. All three changes made by David Jeffrey. 2-0 down inside the final 20 minutes. He'll take something exceptional now. It's a hamstring for Conor Hagan. That's what's brought an end to his game. And for him, he's hoping now for a favour from Johnny McDonnell at the Oval, isn't he? It's not often that St. Pat's are held scoreless in a game, particularly this season. Still 1-0 down to that early goal. Header away by Bailey. Taken in by Derry. Very happy to let that one go, and the tackles are flying in now.
Well, I'm just looking to see where David Jeffrey's going to get that bit of magic from, and at the moment I'm really stretching. Ferguson has worked so hard up front for him, needs that support, needs that supply from the wide positions. Maybe Lindsay can put it in now.
Lindsay has gone to right back. Should be the goalkeeper's ball, and it is.
Well, I spoke about Derry in the first half, the quality in, the cross, maybe not good enough. Second half, Linfield suffered the same fate, got into good positions and didn't deliver.
Farron skipping away from a couple of would-be challenges. And Linfield would have the throw in. Such a proud record in this competition. Just 4 defeats in 25 Setanta Sports Cup games prior to kick-off tonight. Only one of those away from home. It's their wonderful run, always advancing to the knockout stages, reaching 2 finals out of 3, about to come to an end for Linfield. McAreevy. And Skimmon looking to work something with Munster. Had he found a return ball there, might well have his new strike partner. Speaking of Gerard Doherty earlier, he didn't begin the season as Derry City's number 1. That was Darren Quigley. Suffered a broken nose though on the return to his former club UCD. Subsequently out, and as a result he's only made 4 appearances this season. Such has been the form of Doherty. Farron will chase again. He's on a hat-trick, of course. I'd imagine if Stephen Kenny looks to make some substitutions to eat up time later on, he'll be absolutely livid if his number comes up.
Well, I think they'll just be delighted to win the game and win the group, and of course have a home tie in the semi-final.
There's no underestimating what the competition means to Derry, but as we said at the outset, it's been a source of frustration for them. 6 and 07, their previous 2 involvements. They finally got it right this season. Bailey.
Noel Bailey just held his knee after he played that ball, and that would be absolutely disastrous for the manager if he lost Noel Bailey, a very experienced player and such an important player for Linfield.
And of course, with all 3 changes already made, here's one of these substitutes, the latest, Chris Lindsay. Now Ferguson. Gold is getting forward. Nice ball into the area, and Delaney again grateful. Look at the position picked up again by Barry Malloy. Header away by Gray. Ferguson. Looking for options, goes left. Here's Damien Curran. McAreevy clips one towards the penalty area. Munster was looking to work something off McChrystal. Strong header away by Delaney, who stayed down. To be a clash of heads there with the Linfield players. That Delaney is always 100% committed to winning the ball. Tangling with Damien Curran.
It's an honest to goodness challenge from both players, and Delaney, who's been quite outstanding tonight, very commanding figure, and I think also, as you say, has had the armband on him tonight and try to lead the side.
A lot to keep Delaney out of the action. Stephen Kenny looks like he is going to make the change, though. Aaron Callaghan fall back. What will the change be? Will it be Delaney? I think he's anxious to play on. Still waiting. Taking in by Ferguson. Off it by Dennehy. Here's Farron. Morrow. Dennehy to his right, goes instead for Farron. As we said, he's on that hat-trick, and applauds the ball forward from Morrow that was just fractionally overcooked. Lindsay forcing the Crystal to turn. There's Malloy again. Change will be made now, and it's Gareth McGlynn who's going to come off, and Aaron Callahan will just slot into the full-back position. Just looks to be hobbling a little. In the position they're in, no need for Stephen Kenny to take any chances.
Yeah, sensible management. Feels the game secure at the moment, just making sure he's solid at the back, and we're going to see out the last 10 or so minutes.
And in towards Ferguson, who hooks it goalwards, and Munster perhaps didn't react quickly enough. Challenge that one. Referee says an illegal one by Kevin Derry. He's had a couple of fouls since that yellow card in the first half. Bailey has joined the forward ranks for this one. Header from Lindsay. Clearance from Clive Delaney. Back in from Bailey, and then from Ferguson. Munster arriving, but not quickly enough. Aaron Callahan. First involvement, substitute is a telling one. Lindsay felt that one. He felt that one up here.
Yeah, it's a strong boy, but from a yard straight in the midriff, not what you want when you've just come on.
And as the seconds continue to tick by, it's more and more apparent now that Linfield's future participation in this competition this season depends on St. Pat's grabbing a leveller at Glentoran. For a manager, never a nice situation that to be in, Brian.
No, it's not, and you've got to say well done Glentoran if that takes place, because or if it stays as it is, because they have really come through on the rails at the end, and all credit to them. But for Linfield, big disappointment.
Here's Dennehy. Farron wants it. The ball has gone out of play though. Dennehy couldn't keep it in. When you look at how the fixtures have evolved though in this group, Brian, it's become very interesting that on the final day, Linfield perhaps they couldn't have faced a tougher game, knowing that Derry desperately want to beat them despite already being through, and also knowing that if there's a winner in the other group that they stand a great chance of going forward.
Yeah, it's been a tough group. We said that at the very outset, but he's been good. The goalkeeper of Derry City, very, very good goalkeeping, Doherty. The not occasion came out 25, 30 yards out, dealt with the situation so well, but it has been a good group, and you want it right at the very end to see who's going to get through. Silly free kick, don't give it away there.
And Muskimin venting his spleen as the decision is given against him. And Delaney has really led the side very well again this evening. Stephen Kenny looks like he will finally get that win he desperately craved. He will get that home semi-final. It will be against Cork City, a side though that has won 3-2. An astonishing game already here this season. So we won't be taking anything for granted, and Derry and Cork of course have faced each other so many times in recent weeks, the latest just a week ago when it took a penalty shootout to separate them in their FAI Cup quarter-final replay. Doherty, who is in praise tonight, Sylvia Dennis being spot kick as they went through. There's Clive Delaney advancing, and Farron. It wasn't the greatest of balls from the centre half, was it?
Well, the goalkeeper was spoken about Doherty in the Derry goal, but Manus has done very well there again. You're right. Big centre back came out, did so well, Delaney, and just the softest of passes needed, didn't really deliver, but he's been very good tonight, the Derry City captain.
Mark Farron has been announced as the man of the match in the stadium here. Brian will be picking his man of the match in a few minutes' time. It will be the same again. Even a corner, no.
Well, I just think that McGinn has had a good game. Started off very well tonight, and there's been some very, very good performances out there from Derry City. It's been a good team performance. I think defensively they've been solid. Delaney's been outstanding. I think Derry and Malloy in the middle of the park have been very good. McGinn at the start I thought was going to really be the star of the show, and I think up front Morrow and Farron have been a real handful.
Looking ahead to the semi-final, they will lose Kevin Deary, as we saw with that bookie in the first half, but coming back in, Eddie McCallion and Kevin McHugh.
Well, I think the Derry manager has done a super job this year. He's pulled together a very good unit, and not only has he got a good team, he's got a good squad, and certainly looking forward to next year, they're going to be a real force.
Lindsay, ball forced back by the tireless Malloy. Here comes Delaney again, took a knock a few moments ago, that vanished from the mind as he threw himself at that one. As it stands, Brian, and I stress as it stands because we're hearing there have been a few injuries in the game at the Oval, so there will be additional minutes there. We're looking at a semi-final pairing of that forthcoming here in Glentoran, going to United Park. Farron for the hat-trick to round it off in style. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant from Mark Farron. He's got 3, Derry have got 3. They have won the group and done it in style.
Well, again, it's the Morrow, Farron, Joe, really. Terrific play. Linfield a little bit disorganised, throwing everything forward, trying to get that goal, but Morrow brilliant. Lovely soft pass. Manus came out, couldn't do very much about it, but Mark Farron, terrific. Great first touch, made the angle. Here we see the run, here we see the pass. Yes, soft touch. Look up, keep calm, and slot the ball home. Terrific goal.
16 goals for the season for Mark Farron. And how clinically taken, all 3 tonight. Derry City seen as the coming side on the island. And they've shown exactly why here tonight. What an intriguing semi-final awaits against Cork City. Alan Matthews, I'm sure, is watching this one. Paul Doolan as well. I can say with certainty now that it will be Derry City against Cork City here. Linfield supporters now desperately needing news of a Pats leveller at the Oval. Despite being well beaten here tonight, if Pats were to get an equaliser, Linfield would go into the semi-final. They would be heading to play Drogheda United. They have a real history, those two, in this competition. Farron might be sniffing a fourth, or Dennehy to go it alone, and Farron is offside. It's gone wide in any event, but he's got 3, fraction away from a fourth.
Yeah, it's hard looking Linfield at the moment. They know they're beaten. They've always been a team with great character, great spirit, and they've simply come up against a very, very good Derry City side.
Well, you know what, I think we'll be pretty sure who your man of the match is going to be, but for my money, for what it's worth, I think this man coming off has had a fine game for Derry City. Barry Malloy, given the opportunity to rest his legs for the last few minutes. Rory Higgins to come on.
Well, I think the middle of the park have been very good for Derry City, and certainly it's been a very good team performance. I think they were a little bit soft at the start of the second half, but other than that, they've done very well.
Well, Farron has been the star man. Fantastic SETANTA Sports Cup hat-trick. Maybe not finished yet.
Yes, I think Linfield just need to hear the final whistle. Players looking tired, a little bit dejected. Manager will be very, very disappointed. But Mark Farron, he'll be looking for that 4th goal.
McGinn goes short. Higgins' first involvement here. Takes it back from Callahan. A strike from distance has crashed off Damien Curran. Billy Dennehy hasn't done badly tonight, has he? His first start in this competition. One of the new arrivals.
Did very well. Be disappointed he didn't score early in that second half. Great chance.
Derry is stolen a couple of inches at the corner. And now looks to give it to the edge. Step forward by Higgins. Teasing ball in is dealt with. Munster has been well shackled tonight by the Derry rear guard. This come in tight to the touchline. Just stepping between Miskimmin and McChrystal as a few words were exchanged. This is certainly a defeat that is going to hurt Linfield. It can only be in some way soothed now by events at the Oval. Still no word of a Pat's leveller. As it stands, St. Pat's will be finishing bottom of Group 2. Sean Horrigan will be coming on for the final moments. He's had a season really interrupted by injury. 3 on the break here, led by Morrow. And now Farron. Surely there isn't a fourth. Well, Manus saw to it that there wasn't.
Yeah, fantastic save. And I've got to say, it has been a terrific performance from Derry City. I think Alan Manus has been big, he's been strong. Ferguson did very, very well for Linfield. But overall, it's been a terrific performance from Derry City, and Farron has been quite outstanding.
Well, word has come through that the full-time whistle has sounded at the Oval. We will have Belfast representation in the semi-finals, but it will not be Linfield. Glentoran have won by 1-0. Darrell Fordyce early in the game, and the side that were written off in Group 2, Glentoran, have come with a late run that included a 4-1 win at Windsor Park. And they will be heading to take on the champions Drogheda United in the semi-finals. What an achievement by Alan MacDonald. Well, let's do your man of the match. Dare I ask?
Well, I think it's fairly simple. I wouldn't be brave enough to pick anybody else. I think Morrow and Farron up front have been absolutely fantastic for Derry City tonight. And hat-trick man Mark Farron is my man of the match tonight.
Well, never really any doubt. Took his goals, all 3 of them. The real executioner's flair. Well, we know the semi-final lineups now, Brian. 2 intriguing games. Drogheda United against Glentoran and Stephen Kenny's Derry City against Cork City. What do you think of those?
Well, we always knew it was going to be a tough semi-final. Delighted that Glentoran have made it through. I think we needed a representative from the Irish League, and Linfield have really carried the flag, done fantastically well over the years, and this, well, David Jeffrey will be disappointed his team are not there, but still good value. I'm looking forward to them both.
It will just be that extra sting for Linfield that Glentoran have gone through. Might have been easier to take had it been St. Pat's.
I think Stephen Kenny will be absolutely thrilled with his team tonight. We said in the first half against St. Pat's they looked a very competent side. I think he was slightly disappointed that they took their foot off the pedal the second half, but tonight it's been a real solid performance. Solid at the back. The goalkeeper's always been good every time I've seen him play. Middle of the park very busy, and up front very lively.
Well, the league is beyond Derry City, and I'd imagine Bohemians, and credit to them for a wonderful season that they put together, but we're grateful perhaps that Derry City weren't closer. They began that wonderful run. There's still a cup treble on the cards for Stephen Kenny, a man that has proven himself so adept in cup competitions. 8 finals, 4 wins, all 4 as manager of Derry City, and he'll be hoping that 2 more cup finals to come. They will head to Terryland Park to take on Galway United in the semi-final of the FAI Cup, a team that they have beaten on the same ground in the semi-final of the League Cup that they have retained for the 4th year in a row, and they will host Alan Matthews Cork City here in what should be an absolutely pulsating SETANTA Sports Cup semi-final. And for David Jeffrey, He's just hoping for the full-time whistle now, and we can't let it go by without mentioning exactly what Linfield have contributed to this over the last few seasons.
Well, I think he's been quite outstanding. Very effervescent kind of a coach, and certainly has been the inspiration behind Linfield over these years, and he will be feeling the hurt more than anybody else. But his team have worked hard. They've given full value for what they can do tonight, and I think he just needs some help.
Well, there's the final whistle, and a huge roar at the Brandywell as finally, at the 6th attempt, Derry City have beaten Linfield in the SETANTA Sports Cup. It's a win that means so much to them. We bid adieu to David Jeffrey and Linfield in the competition this campaign, but no doubt the star man tonight, Mark Farron. Prior to kick-off, he had 3 SETANTA Sports Cup goals. 2 of them had come against Linfield at Windsor Park. But tonight, he gets a hat-trick, all 3 for Derry City, in front of the home supporters. He has the match ball, and that is one he will cherish. His display really summing up exactly what Derry City were all about tonight. They played with a swagger, and they were clinical in front of goal. What has the manager made of it all? Stephen Kenny is with Will Downing.
Stephen, I guess there's only one Mark Farron, eh?
Yeah, it was a very good team display. I thought some of our football was excellent. You know, we really had a lot of pace in the team, and we utilised it and created an awful lot of chances. And I can't really praise the players any more than they've given everything. The crowd were fantastic tonight. The place was absolutely magnificent here tonight. You know, they really enjoyed it. But to be fair, Linfield, they beat us when we were in Windsor Park, and they beat us well that night. So it was a tough group to come out of. Glentoran and St Patrick's. I don't even know how that game went, but it was a very, very tough group. You wouldn't have thought it when we lost the first game that we'd win the group, but there's no point in winning tonight and losing the semi-final. So that we won't get too elated about tonight. We've done a job, a professional job, and we make sure we're right for the semi-final.
It looked like as if you were the team who needed to win.
Well, we did need to win, because you need to win when you're playing at home. You have such an expectant crowd. All right, you need to, and you know, we probably let ourselves down once or twice at home this year, to be honest. And you know, we're capable of playing like that. We played like that in the last few weeks, and we're getting better, I feel. But still, there's still room for improvement, I do feel.
The treble is still on.
Well, I don't know about that, but we have a couple of semi-finals, and I suppose that will determine our season really. And Cork will be formidable opposition coming here, but the crowd are getting behind us here, and I think they were very important in the game against Cork last week. I felt in the FAI Cup tie, important tonight, and they're going to be important for us in next week in the semi-final.
It is yourselves and Glentoran through, so thank you very much for joining us. Well done, Des.
Well, a delighted Stephen Kenny, but one who's pragmatic and knows that no point getting out of the so-called group of death if you don't go on and achieve beyond that. Mark Farron, it was his night. He set them on their way with a cheeky finish. They threatened in the second half before Farron was to produce a sublime second and a terrific third to follow. Derry City will host Cork City. Drogheda United will host Glentoran. We're all set for the semi-finals.
Autumn on SETANTA Sports, more football than ever before. Barclays Premier League, SPL, World Cup qualifiers, and the FA Cup. Top boxing including Pavlik Hopkins, Tava Dawson, Hay Barrett, and living legends Calzaghe Jones Jr. UFC 89, Bisping v Lieben, and Ultimate Fighter. Who is UFC's newest star? Plus Magnus Rugby and a whole lot more. This autumn, only on SETANTA Sports.
The idea to build an eco-friendlier car before the environment became a hot topic. Hybrid Synergy Drive, a petrol-electric car. For us, it's only the first step to our ultimate idea, a car that produces clean air while driving. An absurd idea? Maybe.
Because of fire. And the perfect temperature for medium rare. Because of yeast and what a Frenchman did with it. Because of fine dining, we all expect excellent food and wine. That's why Emirates serves award-winning cuisine on every flight. Fly Emirates to more than 100 destinations.
Many vital products depend on contributions from the leading chemical company. Invisible contribution. Visible success. BASF. The chemical company.
Love Cyprus, the year-round island.
Our music. Our blogs. Our maps. Now we can all contribute to the web from the palm of our hands. The new Nokia N96. The web now made by hand.
Forsyth said our live Premier League coverage continues on Saturday the 18th of October. As usual, we will have two live games. First up is Liverpool as they take on Wigan from 2:30 on SETANTA Ireland. And following that, champions Manchester United, they host West Brom at Old Trafford. Kick-off is 5:30 on SETANTA Sports 1. On Monday the 20th of October, troubled Newcastle United, they take on Manchester City at St James's Park. Coverage for that one begins at 7. And on Saturday the 25th of October, there's more live Premier League action on SETANTA Sports with West Brom versus Hull City at the Hawthorns. That's from 2:30 on SETANTA Ireland. Then it's off to Ewood Park as Blackburn Rovers host Middlesbrough. Kick-off for that one is 5:30. Alright, back to tonight. The results: Derry City 3, Linfield 0, Glentoran 1, St Patrick's Athletic 0. Derry are the leaders of the group, and Glentoran have come from nowhere to finish in second place. The semi-final lineup is as follows. We will have Derry City against Cork City and Drogheda United playing Glentoran, and those games will be played next week.
Great night for Glentoran. Great night for Mark Crown and Derry City.
Well, I think it was plainly, obviously, Linfield are going through a stage where the really good players for them over the last 10 years.
But Peter Thompson, they lost Peter Thompson. He's not old, they just had to sell him.
And he's had 7 or 8 injuries. The latest was Mulgrew, last week I think it was in the County Antrim Shield, and he's been tremendous for them. And they're playing against a Derry team, Pat, that's flying at the minute, and they've got great energy, young legs, and on the night they're too much pace for Linfield.
Well, he'll be a disappointed man tonight, David Jeffries, but the Blues will bounce back. Let's get his thoughts from Will.
David, analyse that.
I think I said to Stephen after the game that they did to us tonight what we did to them in Belfast. We were pretty impressive back in March and fully deserved our victory and played some great stuff. I've got to say that Derry City played some excellent stuff tonight, particularly in the second half. We're very incisive, quick football, quick feet. I've got to say the second goal was an absolute smasher. We played into their hands, gave the ball away very cheaply, but they capitalised upon the mistake, and they broke very quickly in a fantastic goal. Disappointed, as I say, with the first goal and the third goal defensively, but I think I can safely say that we were well beaten tonight.
Do you blame it on the absentees?
No, I said beforehand, Will, to you, we're 8 people missing, but we're not into making excuses. And you put people out there and you want them to give their best. We're in the process at the moment of sort of building our fourth side, and it's going to take a wee bit of time. We have some young boys in there. We had only 2 players started the game tonight that actually played away back in March. So it's a building process, but I think tonight is a night where you talk about the great football of Derry City. You congratulate them, congratulate Stephen, and we're just disappointed how things have ended up for us. But we'll lick the wounds and we'll get ourselves back in again.
You are right up at the top of the IFA Premiership, so it's not a bad state of transition.
No, absolutely not. You know, as I say, you know, in terms of our own domestic league, you know, we're doing extremely well, doing very, very well. But as I say, this is something which has disappointed us tonight. But I think you've got to say, when you're beaten and beaten the way we were, then you've got to put your hands up. You've got to congratulate the opposition, and well done to Derry City this evening.
For once in this competition, not your season, but thank you for talking to us.
Cheers, Will.
See you next year.
No, it's not, Pat. Well, Brother Frank, very honest. I suppose he could say anything else. It was a tough night for him.
Well, he could have done. He could have blamed the referee. Sometimes managers do that. He could have blamed the injuries. He didn't do that. I thought, typical David Jeffrey style, that when he has a disappointing night, that he's very, very honest, great charismatic. But the quality of the goals tonight, I mean, this is a fantastic hat-trick. You know, the first one, yeah, we can talk about the bad defending, but look at that. That's a great little bit of vision and skill. I mean, if you look at Winky Murphy there, he doesn't get close to him because he thinks the ball's going behind him. That's why the reaction is so slow. And, you know, arguably, that was the worst goal of the three. So that shows the quality of the hat-trick. And David Jeffrey made reference to this. He talked about the speed and pace. Stephen Kenny talked about it. But hang on, what a ball! Outside of the left foot, inch perfect, straight in the back of the net.
I mean, well, I think that's come off Sammy Morrow's shin, but that's another...
Listen, that's what he said about Ronnie Whelan's goal against Russia in '88 as well.
What a finish by Mark Farren. What a finish by Mark Farren. It was a tremendous night for him. Tremendous night for him. And tremendous wee ball for Sammy Morrow.
Look how deep Noel Bailey is here.
Well, at this stage, they're on the ropes, Pat. I mean, the old legs.
Great finish.
I mean, I know I've been harping on about it, but when you've guys, I mean, I've played at that age, and, you know, I think you have as well. And at the last 15, 20 minutes, you're always you're praying for the final whistle, particularly when you're playing against young kids who've got great legs and great confidence, and there's a great buzz about the team at this minute in time. And as I said, it was a perfect time to meet Linfield. I said at the top of the programme, they're flying, the legs are good, and they're meeting a Linfield team who are on the change, and they've got so many injuries as well.
Well, you talked about the quality of Stephen Kenny. He'll be absolutely thrilled to guide his team through to a home semi-final. But tonight, Alan MacDonald, manager of Glentoran's, making history. Congratulations, Alan. You're in the semi-final of the SETANTA Sports Cup. How does it feel?
Yeah, it feels great.